It's the echo in your brain. You know you can't sustain the misconceptions in your mind. One day you'll see for sure what all of this was for. Then you can leave it all behind. The journey begins. I am the one, yeah, that will show the proof. I am the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. I am the whispers of the logic in your mind. I am an agent of the logos. In the beginning was found this thing that cannot speak. It's how we all truly learn. It's only ever attained when one lets go of fear. So don't let wisdom pass you by. The journey begins. I am the one, yeah, that will show the proof. I am the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. I am the whispers of the logic in your mind. I am an agent of the logos. It was there all along. How could I never have seen this thing that's danced all around? It wasn't until I left behind the things I believed that I could see things so clear. The journey begins. Become the one, yeah, that will show the proof. Become the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. Become the whispers of the logic in their mind. Become an agent of the logos. Become an agent of the logos. We are the agents of the logos.
We are live. Welcome everyone, broadcasting from On The Level community server, Discord. Come on in. Come join the community. We're a community now, guys. So, welcome.
Nice.
Yeah. Make you feel part of something. We, On The Level, are going to Bedford, home of the level. Like, we do a pilgrimage once or twice a year. We like to try. It's been a bit tricky over the last few years, as you know. So yeah, if you've ever wondered about two guys called Robotham and Wallace and whatever they did, and looking at and wondered why people are looking down canals, what all of the argument is about, you know, why flat earthers and why globe earthers have this sort of battle about looking at shit. Well, you can come and do that. Come into Discord and we'll show you what it looks like. You might get an idea of why we don't do these sort of things. This is why we don't normally do auto levels, right? You wouldn't normally get to see a shot like this from an auto level. In fact, you wouldn't. There's only one place that you can actually see it. here on the level community Discord server. I'm going to enjoy doing that. So this you might seem that there's a lot of people around here and within this arena that we're in, but we're a bit different. This community, everybody else, it seems like everybody else, it's going mad about the shape of shit, and like we just don't care. It's an adult Discord server, so I think we can quite safely say we don't give a shit about your shape of the earth shit. Don't care at all. But if you do want to come and see about what happens in reality, make your own judgments about it. If you want to obtain your own proof, then this is the place where you come to work things out. But it's you that has the proof at the end of it, and that's what the idea here is. You can gain your own proof, and we will aid. I've got my own proofs. I can tell you about my proofs within reality and all of those sort of things, but it shouldn't really influence you. You should be able to find your own. So for today, I'm going to go over what we're going to be doing when we go there, just to let everybody know what you can expect in the Discord channel on Saturday. So pretty much like all of the other times, we'll be on the road on our way there. For me, I've got like a 4-hour drive. I don't know how many other people have we got. We've got Spot On, Bloods. If anybody else wants to come, let us know. And other than that, we're going to show you where we are and where we're going to be. And then we'll go over maybe some of the pitfalls or something, but you know what other people have done in the past and things that you might meet on the way. Okay, so I don't know if does anybody know where it is. Let me get this on screen on Discord for you. There you go. And on the YouTube. Okay. So this is, can you guys see that?
I can see.
It's working okay.
Yep.
This is the top end of, this is the River Ouse, obviously here. This is the canal that they've built, and then this in here is the Old Bedford River. Right, so when we go there, we will be going parking up here, and then this is one bridge at one end. We will be looking down towards the bottom end from this bridge. But before we, go to the other end of where we're going to be going, it's worth noting that here, this is like a lock system, and this is to keep the River Ouse from flooding all of this area. So all of these are like drains to stop this river from flooding this area. So they've got a load of cropland here, farmland, and obviously if this floods this area, then that's not going to be good. So it's a little bit. So this lock gate here, this big, what we call the sluice gate, is to hold that back. So this is quite a tall thing, and we'll show you when we go there Saturday morning. This will be the first place that I'm going to go. Bloods will go to the other one first, and we'll set the time-lapse cameras out, right? I'll come here, and then you'll see that there are benchmarks here on the concrete. So that will be ordnance survey. They will be marked at elevation. In this bit here, I'll post some pictures of it. There's a graded rod vertically with the height of the water within this bit, and then you come on this other side over on the river side, and there are markers here, so you know the level of the water. And these are all referenced to Newlyn down south in the mean sea level for the UK. And that's where all of these vertical measurements are referenced to. There's a fella that lives in this house here on this. No, it's over here, isn't it? Yeah. This like old lock system here for the canal. And his job is to watch all of these levels within all of the water to, you know, to keep a check on how much water they've got on either side. Right, so we'll come there and we'll do some back measurements for this place to get a reference of how high these gates are above the water. So all of this water here from this lock gate to the other end, right? So here is where we'll start. We've got a Bruno time-lapse camera, so I'm going to fix it onto this bridge looking this way and set that going for the day to see the varying conditions. Won't be zoomed in, it's just a general sort of thing, but it will be looking this way. So I'll go all the way down here, dead straight, and then this here is Welney Bridge, and there's the pub where we'll have tea. So there's a bit more stuff at this end. A pub and a bridge, which we can measure obviously the height of the bridge, but we will be looking from there you go. See that? Salters Load up here. That's one end, and Welney down here is the other end. And we will be filming from one side to the other along the old Bedford River. River Delve. And then this is the bit that we're looking at from here that way. I mean, it does go, all of these drains go quite a long way. And that's the historic bit that we're talking about. Bloodsy says he's going to be coming here early in the morning and he'll be fixing his camera up, time lapse, at this end, looking that way. So during the day, we will get an auto level here and here. The auto level will be fixed. The camera will be fixed to the auto level. Not a surveying procedure, I may add. Affixing a camera to an auto level is not surveying procedure. So this isn't anything to do with any surveying procedures or anything. This is just literally to give everybody an idea what it looks like looking through an auto level. It isn't actually surveying because we're not measuring anything. We're not doing that. But although we could do the 2-peg test, we'll take people through the 2-peg test as well. Worth doing. So we'll be setting an auto level up here and shooting the shot this way to Salters Load, and we'll be getting the auto level and we'll be shooting the auto level back the other way, reciprocal auto level shots. Those will be broadcast straight into Discord. Now, I can't record that because I'll be out there with the auto level, setting it up and shorting the camera out, and then broadcasting that to Discord. So if anybody wants any footage of whatever it is, make sure you're in this Discord, and then you can literally record it yourself, take screenshots of it. You can talk to us about when we're doing it, what we're doing. The idea is to give everybody in Discord a view. Right now, remember, I'm out there just putting a camera on it. I can't really see that much. So when we just start doing this, it's up to you guys in Discord to let me know how the camera looks and whether it needs focusing and all of that sort of stuff. Focus the crosshair. You become the surveyor. You're the people in control, not me. So that will go for also for recording purposes. Now, that's what we can do for Discord. And obviously, later on, we'll do laser waving. And that will all be shown. You'll be able to see that. That'll probably be better, actually, the laser waving. But at the same time we're doing that, we do have P1000s and P900s, quite a few. And we should be able to do reciprocal P1000s as well. Hopefully. I'm hoping if we're that good at with our cameras, I'm hoping we can see each other as we're taking the pictures.
You know?
That would be cool, wouldn't it? I think.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever been done before.
No.
Reciprocal viewing of 6. A few people have drawn some diagrams about what they saw, or what they think they saw, or what they told people they think they saw. Obviously, not true, but we can actually get footage of it. So if that's what you're after, looking at things and seeing stuff like that, we are into, my son is into long distance photography. So this is a challenge to see whether we can get a camera to cut through the haze and stuff. We do have an infrared P1000. So we're hoping to get some good shots. So if anybody wants to be involved in all of that, if you want to be involved with the camera, then come down. Yeah. I think this will be the base, won't it? Up at Welney. This the pub and these car parks here will be the main base.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so that's this Saturday in On the Level Discord community server. We will be broadcasting. I don't know how many cameras we can have live. I mean, that'll be another event, won't it? Maybe we might be able to get 6, 7. 6 or 7 live cameras at Bedford for people to watch. That's never been done before. I've been to Bedford a few times, and we have broadcast the auto level shots. The shot that Rumpus will never do. And we've already got some good shots, but I'm hoping this time we should be able to get some pretty good.
Yeah, hopefully, mate. Should be good. Be a cracking day.
It's pretty good, the dead straight. Bit of canal. It's still flattened it. Yep. Okay. Anybody got any questions or anything? Other than that, we'll be. Don't know what time I'm going to be in Discord, but as soon as I set off, I'll be in Discord on driving, talking on the way. Yeah, on Saturday, Gadget. Like I say, I don't know. Like, I'll be getting there as soon as possible, but I've got a 4-hour drive in order to get there.
I've got a 4-hour drive on Saturday too, but it's not to Bedford, to a place called Merritt. But as long as I'm not in the mountain ranges, I'll be able to tune in.
Yeah, well, last time we had a few good conversations. We talked to the guy at the lockhouse with spot on. Yeah, I don't think Bloods came to Salter's Load end, did you?
No, I stayed the other side.
And I don't know whether we'll find out, because I don't know whether there's a better view one way than the other. Don't know whether the the sun, the angle of the sun or whatever affects the distance, whether it's time of day. I suspect that later on we might end up with a better.
Time lapse camera can tell us a lot afterwards.
Yeah, hopefully that should be good information to let us know best time. Wally thinks that we end up showing something that we regret.
Hey?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
like what?
We show everybody the exact thing. I mean, how can anyone regret showing anybody actually what happens?
Right?
Yeah. I don't know what Wally thinks he's doing. I never regret anything. There's no reason to regret anything. This is just
It's all to learn.
Putting a camera on an auto level, which everyone should know, I'll have to keep saying it, is not a surveying procedure. It's just to let people know what it looks like through an auto level.
Yeah, a survey would probably call you a bunch of names for doing something like that.
If you were pretending that you were doing
abuse.
some surveying, then they'd be rightly, to say that's not. And I'll say, yes, it is not. It's not a surveying procedure. Really, all it is a fixed scope at 32 times magnification with a camera, a cell phone camera. That's it.
My guess is Wally's making an assumption he might not want to make.
Yeah. Putting the model before the premise.
But we know lots of people do that. It's all right. We understand. But probably shouldn't do that just yet.
Yeah, my model dictates.
Putting the model before the premise. The antecedent.
Pure assumption.
So it should be a very good day. Yeah, you can imagine Blackpool Towers in the background as well here, Wally. I think there's a big massive
So get your ruler ready to measure pictures.
There's a
get ready to put your ruler on the screen.
I hope they've not chopped it down. But like all of these trees in around here. One of them is absolutely huge, and we might end up referencing that. Perhaps this one here. It's got a big shadow, that, hasn't it? Oh. Yeah, it could be that one. Well, I don't know. What are you doing? Uh-oh. Okay, so, yeah, I think it might be these ones here, actually. But we can definitely reference the heights of all of these things, because they're all referenced to mean sea level, all of them. And you'll see that there's a measurement thing there, and they only need one at one end, all around all of these bits. We'll take you on a tour of it round the area, so you can get a good outline of where this end is, because the other one's just in the middle of a canal, but this end, as you can see here, the River Ouse, this is like a main river channeling all the water. Look, the river, a couple of rivers there, the River Great Ouse and the River Great Ouse, two of them.
I do have a question, Bev, regarding sea level, mean sea level.
Yeah.
Have they, the guys on the other side or either side, has anyone given us a proof that level is a curve?
We're not bothered about that. I literally.
All right. No problem.
We're just going to show people what it looks like. There's no need to trouble anybody with any sort of mathematical stuff with this, right? All of that's got nothing to do with what this place looks like. And, you know, like, this is just reality. No need for us to be talking about proofs or anything. See, they've got the river and it splits off. Cleaned. Water. Dirty water. Same river. Just splits off. To drain different bits from different places. It's amazing when you get out there, you know, when you're used to different places being, you know, you might see mountains, you know, like in your horizon, but when you're out here in this, there's nothing, there's no landmarks. Windmills, perhaps, that they might have. So I guess we'll have to do the going over all of these things when we can get some better footage. But most of the better footage, the ones that will be recorded of us actually doing stuff live, will have to be recorded from Discord, because we're going to be out there doing it. I'm going to be able to see what Bloods is doing from the other end. If you know, like if we're down here at Salter's Load on the bridge, and Bloods and Spot On are down at Welney, then the only communication we're going to have is with each other through Discord. That's where we are right now. Discord. We try and sell Discord for them a bit. For live footage, you come into Discord and then we can communicate with each other like we do all the time. We use Discord for communication. And then we're going to be able to do that with live footage on our phones. We have been testing this stuff out. Now is the chance for us to actually show people what I think we could do easily. We can do this with multiple accounts streaming live to Discord, and in Discord you can choose which screen you want to watch, so you become the director of these things. Give you a chance to experience something new on Discord. We've done it before. We've took it when we did Under the Horizon. We've done all of this sort of stuff. I've always been out there live. Does anybody want to comment on what they saw while we were out there doing it last time? I mean, I know it was over a year ago. It's been quite a while, hasn't it, since we did this sort of stuff. I was hoping that Rumpus might come back. We might be able to hear something about Rumpus in a bit anyway. Like I say, I found a little bit of footage. I noticed Wally's talking about his rocket, but I'm not too sure about it, Rolly. Talking about Bedford. Not predictably. Okay, right, so let me get back to Discord for a bit. I've got this here. Now, I said, because we've been going over this thing where the model, we've always said, if you drop the model, then conversation becomes easier. Especially within this, there's a fight that occurs that isn't needed when you don't mention the model. So if you drop the model, you're okay. But it depends where you place the model also. Because it's okay placing the model after the consequent. Just say "'tis globe," right? That's fine. If you place the model before the premise, before you make the antecedent, if the model is there, then you'll struggle to formulate a coherent sentence or whatever. You know, you can't make a valid argument because you've got the model dictating your premises, your antecedents.
That would be begging the question.
But if you put the model afterwards, right? If you just say "'tis globe" afterwards, it doesn't really make any difference, does it? You're allowed to have the proof, and it's a completely different situation, really, isn't it?
Yes, if you put a model before your premise, like pre-assumption, that would be begging the question. But if you put model after, let's say, syllogism, I would say that would be non sequitur. But choice is yours.
Yeah. There's a lot less confusion, let's say.
Yes, if someone is okay with non sequitur, then yes. Okay.
I was just trying to find a way to get to ep or hey, right? That nobody really knows anything. I think I found my catchphrase as well, or, you know, like my quote. I would be like, you don't know what you do know. Proper try thinking. Try thinking. Bev, try thinking. Quote. You don't know what you do know. Because it stops everybody. Everybody has to stop and start to think about, first off, what's he saying? And then second one, Well, what do I know? And most people would go to that doubt, wouldn't they? Cartesian doubt.
I think you've been watching too many philosophy videos, Bev.
Especially
Probably.
last time, because Aristotle would resolve this problem. Because if you have proof, then you know what you know.
Yeah. But you have, in modern day, whoever
You don't know
questions
what you know.
themselves about that? Who does? And then if you could go to Cartesian doubt, like I think most people today would, then you truly don't know what you do know. Because there are some things that you do know. You just don't know how to find them. Which I think we can help with that. But it's up to everybody to find their own proofs, isn't it? Not many people want to. Not many people care. Wally's obsessed. Thanks for coming, Wally, but I don't know. I think you've got an exploded mind. I don't know if I can help you. We accept all sorts of diversity, but exploded minds, I'm not too sure whether that... I don't know how much room in the community there is for that. Probably not
Who
much.
could cope with that?
So as we go with the exploded mind and where you place the model, I say horizontal and vertical are perpendicular. You can try it and falsify it. You can't try and falsify that, surely, I say. To which Foolery Tom, I don't know, says plumb and level are always orthogonal to each other at any given point. Plumb lines diverge as you move around the surface of the earth. So level curves to maintain that orthogonality. Exploded mind.
Nuts.
I wonder if he could back up his claim.
Well, no, it's place the model there. Plumb lines diverge as you move around the surface of the earth.
Yeah, that's false.
Well, they're always vertical and they are always orthogonal, as he says. And everybody knows that orthogonal has a geometric relationship with the perpendicular. And perpendiculars have another consequent that comes with it. That all perpendiculars to a plane will be parallel. Perpendicular is orthogonal. It's that square relationship. Straight lines. So in this person's mind, to go along with orthogonal holding an orthogonal relationship, he's going to curve level to maintain it. Try and think about that if you want, but I wouldn't, because there's an exploded mind. An impossible solvable problem. Can't solve it. But most people can have both of these sort of things. This Zachary guy says points of equal elevation from a single central point, such as the center of a globe, would not form a plane. They would form a sphere. The horizontal plane at any given point would be tangential to that sphere and would not be parallel to any other such planes.
Yes, would.
It only does an edit. Okay, it would be parallel to one, the one tangential to the point on the exact opposite side of the sphere. Beyond that, though, it would intersect with any other plane formed by the horizontal at another point on the sphere. It seems like he's injected a sphere and then forgot what horizontal is. Because I would say, in reality, if you had a sphere, I've said this quite a few times, I think I originally said this, you would have to have a, let's say you were going to get a plane, you would have to have it horizontal for the ball sphere to not roll. If it wasn't horizontal, it had a tilt on it, the ball would roll in that direction. So first off, you have a horizontal plane, put a ball on it, make it horizontal, the ball doesn't roll anywhere. Then you could balance another plane on top of it, because that point would be directly equal on a vertical from the point where it touched on the top, horizontal plane, balanced with no tilt, to the point that it touched on the underneath, the horizontal plane. They're parallel, right? But that's what horizontal planes are. They're parallel. Regardless of the sphere, it just would separate the planes with a vertical distance equal to the diameter of the sphere. That's how horizontal and vertical works. Doesn't change it because you put a sphere there. So a lot of people seem to think that. I mean, how many people actually think that a sphere changes what horizontal is to their understanding? Anyone?
Their model curves straight lines, so it means that it has to curve horizontal also and level, etc. Strangely, only verticals are straight.
Yeah.
Strange model.
How can you have a vertical being straight and then an orthogonal relationship to it having to curve as a consequence of the straights being divergent? I don't know. I can't get it. But like I say, depends where you place the model. Whatever model it is that you're imagining that makes verticals not vertical, I'd say that's the thing that's at the problem here. But within the understanding of what they're assuming goes on. And thank you very much, Gadget Inspector. Get a nice pot of tea in the pub on me. Thank you very much. Welcome in, Andy. Right. I don't want to get into too much, but I mean, the realism within the geometry will come into play with the thoughts of what's going on with the. But I'm going to relate this bridges at Welney and Salter's Load just to A and B. And since the water will be I don't know, we'll get you some measurements so you can put it together for whatever, and then you can imagine A to B. What would happen in between A and B on a canal for a drainage ditch? Do you imagine one end being higher than the other, both of them being of equal elevation? But what does an equal elevation mean in relation to a horizontal? Because a horizontal doesn't slope either. If equal elevation doesn't slope. horizontal, I'd say, is an equal elevation, because that's what a till does. But okay, I'm waffling. Let me. Oh right, I'm gonna. Right. Has anybody heard from Jose for a while? I know he lost his channel, so I don't know how many of his old videos he ended up losing.
Nope, don't care. But
It's 6
I had a
miles,
thought.
Wally. 6 miles in between these two bridges. 6 miles of canal, Wally. A straight. Like a straight. I would say a straight. It's a real straight.
Bev, I had a thought.
Mm-hmm.
You know about aqueducts, right? Like the Roman aqueducts and Greek aqueducts.
Yep.
Do you know that they used water levels to build those?
Yeah. Yeah, the difference
They
between
do
an
have they have a
aqueduct.
slope.
Yes, you know the difference between an aqueduct and a canal?
Yeah, they have flow.
Yeah, there's a flow to an aqueduct. An aqueduct's made to transport water from one place to another.
Yeah, using slopes, not horizontals.
Oh, thank you very
I
much.
was watching I was watching a documentary on aqueducts last night because I'm a weirdo.
It's a grade though, isn't it? When you talk about aqueducts, whatever their measurements are, they use a grade. Like it's sort of 1 inch in whatever.
There was one that said it was just a couple inches over a couple of miles.
Yeah.
To adjust the speed of the water.
Yeah, you get rid of sediment if you keep a slow flow, right? Because the sediment manages to drop out of it. But the faster the flow, the more turbulent and the more stuff you can travel. So, yeah, it's a really slow grade. Helps water flow to
Sounds
clean
like
water.
you might have already watched the same documentary I was watching.
Well, I have studied water flow and level quite a bit. I've been, I would say, levelologists here. So, of course, we understand water and we know how water flows. Thank you, Buster. And thank you, Kevin. There's no way €10 buys a decent set of drinks for these guys. So I will add this to the pot. Thank you. Be safe out there. Watch for the rumpuses. Well, that's exactly where we're going to go at. I was looking in my files for Bedford to show, all of the stuff that we got last time. And at the bottom of this is a Jose video. I thought, what's that got to do with it? What's that? And it turns out that this is, this is how big this thing used to be. That apparently there's this guy within the, I think he's one of the writers of the 5 laws of globe. The globe laws. He's a co-author with Blue Marble Science. But he was going to go and do flag waving, I think. Last year, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I think he's been doing it for quite a while. At least he's been telling people he's going to do it for quite a while. So, let me get it. Share me screen. Change windows. And so, I found a video from Jose. Can you guys, did that change the screen for you guys? Can you still see it in Discord? Does it just change over to a Jose screen?
Yes. Okay. Support here, PayPal, etc.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. So yes.
Right. So this is a stream that Jose did, and in the middle of it, we've got a guy called you've heard of him, Farmer's Boy. A farmer's boy, the farmer's boy. And can you guys see that there? How far can we see over? Let me I don't know whether you need to see the chat because it gets a bit much, but there you go, there's his screen. Farmer's Boy's been taking pictures. So okay, let us know whether you think you can hear the sound of this.
That's the Bedford level, by the way.
Yeah, that's
Oh, this
Farmer's Boy.
picture, this last picture right here.
Yep, that's the Bedford level.
See, did you hear that coming through?
Yep.
Okay, so now this is the Bedford level. This is the one that Rumpus was going to do, and this is the one that we're going to go to this Saturday. We obviously have been there before. Last time we went there, we saw a Farmer's Boy and Rumpus while we were there. And I think this is from a conversation that Farmer's Boy is having with Jose after the very same weekend. So these are the shots that Farmer's Boy got when him and Rumpus went to go and do this last time we went there. And some of the footage or whatever, right? So here we go. This is Farmer's Boy talking about his experience.
And you
oh,
take
hang
this
on.
picture.
Yeah. Let me. Let's put in one that shows you a bit more of what the hell we were up to. This is a rather moody shot with the sun starting to set or sort of working on it.
Very cool. Have you been hanging out with the Rumpus?
Yes, we were there on Sunday. That's we're at the opposite end from Welney Bridge. So at that point, we're probably in the region of 4.5 to 5 miles from the bridge. That's obviously right there in the distance. You can't see it. That's the largest of the targets. That sits at about, that's just over 5 meters tall, I think. And then the target on the top, you can actually winch that up even higher. That'll go up another 2 or 3 meters.
Oh, see, we're not doing this. I don't know whether Rumpus is ever actually going to go and take any pictures of this, but yeah, Rumpus was just out there on the Bedford Canal, putting a 5 meter pole up with a big target on it. Apparently, there's a winch. Does anybody know what we're doing this for? Can anyone imagine why they're doing this? I mean, we're going there just to show you what you see, take some pictures and stuff, but not Rumpus, not Farmer's Boy. They go to Bedford and put up a pole. I take a few camera shots, obviously. Take a picture of a pole.
Shake for that.
Mm-hmm. So
Why
anyone?
would you go to Bedford level to put some poles? You can put poles in your garden.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, maybe Farmer's Boy could let you in a bit more on it. Maybe he does. Maybe he tells you what they're doing. Because yeah, we'll just show you what it looks like, right? We show you people what it looks like with some good cameras. We've got some P1000s, P900s. We'll show you what you could see if you were to go there with a camera. Not like if you were sticking a pole up. We will not do any large pole work at all. Here we go.
So that's one of the 4 stations that would be set up along the level, the river.
So you can leave these stations, you can leave this stuff set up in there. Nobody will.
No, we took it all back down and just left it lying in the grass off to one side. I mean, nobody goes out there.
See, we might be able to find it. The legendary pole of Rumpus left alongside Bedford Canal. Do you reckon we might find it? Who knows? It's quite a big one. That'll be at Salter's Load End, somewhere near that. Anyway, hopefully.
You know, it's just I mean, people do walk along the riverbank, but you're out in the middle of nowhere there, and it was actually very busy because the fields either side, the farmers were pulling up, I think, onions, and it was a Sunday and they were working all day, which you don't generally see farmers working on a Sunday. But I guess the weather was so nice that they just had to get on with it.
Yeah, got to get the crops in, maybe.
Yeah,
when you can get
but
them,
it was a glorious day. Unfortunately, it wasn't very clear for doing really long distance observations. When we was there a couple of 3 weeks back, when you got to about 5 o'clock in the evening, the conditions just cleared up and there was hardly any refraction, and you could see from one bridge to the other. From that point of view, behind me, about a mile behind.
He's got no pictures of you being able to see from one bridge to the other. He hasn't, because it's really hard to do. You need some really good cameras, like a P1000 or a P900 or something like that. Don't think they've got one of those, Farmer's Boy. But I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think anybody had any of that camera work, or they don't even have an auto level. They do have a pole though. A pole.
Good for start.
Yeah. Yeah, like he said, they didn't actually look at the pole from any other distance other than like right here at the side. He said they're in the middle of nowhere, setting up poles, and then putting the poles back down again, leaving them at the side of the canal. As you do. No, nothing else. Well, I mean, we'll do some pictures for you.
Behind me is another bridge, and the two bridges are 6 miles apart.
6 miles apart.
And on a clear day, you can see one from the other through a P1000, an auto level.
Ooh, an auto level. That's a bit of a claim, isn't it? He did just say that, didn't he? Let's go back. On a clear day, says Farmer's Boy.
Clear day, you can see one from the other through a P1000, an auto level.
See, now a P1000 has a 125 times zoom. And then even then, you might need infrared with a filter to cut through the haze, but well, that's only to my experience anyway. But we do have these cameras that can do this. On auto level, my auto level has only got 32 times zoom. Now, when we go there this weekend to show you, you will be able to see what you can actually see through an auto level. You won't have to take the word of a Farmer's Boy that you can see it. You'll be able to have a look for yourself. I mean, which is better? The ability to look through, look at a TV screen and see what you can see through an auto level, or taking the word of a Farmer's Boy?
I have a question regarding putting the camera on the auto level, Bev.
Yeah.
If you have the camera eye, just like, can you move the camera in the eyepiece of the auto level, and will it raise and lower the stadia marks in your camera view?
Good question. We can show you.
You understand what I'm getting at, right?
Yeah, I can show you.
I
can't see.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, we can. We can do that.
That really affects what you're trying to.
Well, I've already said, the moment you put a camera on an auto level, it's not surveying.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. And I think that's why, is because moving the eyepiece up and down from the lens of the camera might change what you see on the grade rod.
Yes, because your camera lens not necessarily is aligned with optical axis of auto level, so it should produce some let's say distortion in angles of view.
Mm-hmm.
So it should affect somehow.
Yeah, and
I don't know how.
There's focusing the crosshairs for the camera as well, to make the crosshairs fit in the camera optics, because obviously the camera optics are different than the eye optics, especially when you're trying to focus in the crosshair to a thing that you guys on this side, at Discord side, I'm saying this side, and it actually within Discord, you guys are going to be the ones that are going to have to tell me this needs focusing, that needs doing. We can't see it. We've got the camera's in the way. We can't put our eye on the auto level to see all of that sort of stuff. You guys get in control, like you say, Rob. You can just try moving the camera up and down a bit, see what happens, see what it looks like through the thing, right? Well, I can do that for you.
Weird shit will happen.
But I won't have a clue what's going on. You guys will be the ones that are watching it, not me.
Even moving the camera left to right in the eyepiece might do some weird shit.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, if you want to know what actually happens with all of this stuff, come into Discord this Saturday. And then I think somebody else was asking, yeah, we're going to stay there because my lad wants to see it. I think it's a dark sky area, so we might be able to get some good footage, but I think the moons might be too full. So we're going to stay till nighttime so we can hopefully get some of the nighttime footage. But I'm not too sure it'll work. But what we will do, because it is nighttime, we'll get the lasers out and we'll do some laser waving. I don't know whether laser waving has ever been done at Bedford, but what we're going to be able to do, definitely for the first time ever, as far as I'm aware, is we can do live laser waving in Discord. This has never been done before from Bedford. We might end up starting a trend. Laser waving in Discord. It's a pastime. Just need to get 2 people in different places waving lasers around. We could do it. We've already done it. We practiced it. We did laser waving from Southport to Blackpool, Ainsdale to Blackpool, from A to B. On the Level Discord, we're a community. Where's everybody gone? Nobody wants to watch. Nobody wants to know about the Bedford level stuff. It becomes too painful. I don't blame them. But let's go to this.
So you can see why it was originally chosen as the spot, because you've basically got 6 miles of perfectly straight waterway. Further down, there are some rather annoying trees in the way, but I think we can work around them. But it's a lovely place to be. It's generally very quiet and peaceful, except
nice.
for the tractors and the onion harvesting machines and all the beeps going on. But
very cool, man.
Yeah, but it is a very flat part of the country. That's the Fens.
What is this?
Did you hear that? Did he just say that? Let me go back.
Yes, flat part of the land.
Very cool, man.
Yeah, but it is a very flat part of the country. That's the Fens.
That was Farmer's Boy, right? Not me. Farmer's Boy. Wally, is he allowed to say that? I'd say it's not. It's not flat. But Farmer's Boy says it is. Tut, tut, tut. I'll just in case you didn't get that.
Beeps going on, but...
So what was that again, Farmer's Boy?
Very cool, man.
Yeah, but it is a very flat part of the country. That's the Fens. That was...
Whoa. Whoa. Who'd have thunk it, Farmer's Boy? Strike him from the council.
What is this? What is this big white blob in the top right?
That's something that we don't see often enough over here. That's the sun.
It's called a local light source, says Balance Truth.
Is it? It wasn't that local. Mind you, I did get a bit of I did get a tan. That was quite nice. I got a tan. Yeah, it's not that local.
What, is that a giant street light?
Were you trying to find Alice and Bob?
I didn't find Alice or Bob, no. But Bev and his crew were there. They were back up. We left.
Bev and his crew were there. Were we? Ah, that'll be the time that we went down there last time with Bloods and Spot On and the lads. We had a good time. Yeah, we have been there before with an auto level. That'll be where that time when we were talking to what's his face from the Cambridge Skeptics, and Rumpus and Farmer's Boy did a runner rather than come over and have a chat with us. Let's see what he thinks.
Left them up at Welney Bridge. We had work to do down there.
We have to put a pole up.
Nice. So this is what like a.
You couldn't come and see the cameras and the auto level and all of that. I had to put a pole up. Put a pole
like
up.
a, I don't know, a drone with a big light bulb, or
You think
what is? I'm just asking.
he's being
Balestros, what do
saved
you think
here?
it is? A balloon with a
I think
big,
Jose.
a big
he's doing
fire
a
in the
good
top
job.
or something? Or what is? What is? And it must go. It must be very low, like below the clouds and below the mountains to do the shadows, like the mountain doing the shadow up in the clouds sometimes.
Yeah.
Right, so may as well go over all of this sort of stuff now. Do go over the psychology of everything. I think Jose's saving Farmer's Boy here. Because I think what occurred, they were going to pretend that they did the entire test this weekend. Just so happens that we turned up doing our annual pilgrimage to the home of the Levelology weekend, the home of the level. And we interrupted Farmer's Boy and Rumpus when they were putting a pole up. Because this is as far as Rumpus's test ever got. This is it. They went there and put a pole up and then took it down again. Didn't come over and look at the auto level. Didn't come over and look at any of the pictures. Didn't ask us for any of the pictures that we took in case we might have taken a picture of Rumpus and his pole. None of that. But this weekend we'll be going and we'll be seeing what sort of shots we can get and how good a shot we can get of this. Obviously, Rumpus's pole still won't be up there, so we won't be able to get that. But we might be able to give you something that I think's already there. We'll show you that over the weekend. Anyway.
To be able to cast shadows upwards, that's quite a trick.
And now, is there an air control? Like, does air control, like for the
They're trying
airplanes,
to
know
stop
the location
talking
of this
about me.
thing? Because they should avoid hitting it with planes and shit, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had an audience as well.
Oh, it's a ship.
It's a sheep.
There was actually a whole flock of them, but he just stood there bleating at me. So I said, yeah, okay, smile for the camera. He wasn't having none
Yeah,
of
I
it.
told you. Vertical level experiment, curvature of the earth, ships, bro, everything comes together. Told you.
Yeah, I mean, what more could you want? Rumpus has put a pole up. Well, Rumpus and Farmer's Boy together have put a pole up at the side of a canal, and there's sheep there and everything. Enjoyable day all round.
Yeah.
I had to take a photo of the sheep at least once
I
because they
love
were just backwards and forwards all bloody day, poxy things.
it. Yep. It's
Mhm.
evidence, man. Thank you
Yep.
for presenting evidence.
Sheep are real. There you go. Now, if we can just get weather like that when we actually do the test, and if we can get some slightly clearer
What do you
air
reckon
like
that
we had
is?
a couple of weeks back, that'd be spot on.
Clearer air? Can we just get some clearer air? How'd you do that? Anyone got any ideas on that? We'll be able to do a time lapse, so we can get a reciprocal time lapse, so we might be able to see whether the light being cast different shadows during the day makes better for viewing at either side. Hopefully,
it's just a matter of getting everything together and working at exactly the right time. That's always a bit of a gamble.
4-hour drive I've got.
Particularly over here in the UK, weather's always a gamble.
Is it how do you call those that? Oh fuck! I need the name in English. Those little things that you got a roll of rope, and you just fly it, and a kite. Right? Is that what you call it? A kite? Is this a kite? A light bulb in a kite?
Talking of kites, Rumpus's thing might have been better on a kite. Or like a helium balloon or something. It would have been easier than putting poles up, I would have thought, if you were wanting to view it from a distance away.
Or like drone, maybe.
Just like a big balloon. Surely you'd be able to put it at a height, wouldn't you? If you were to pin it down. I would have just thought that would have been easier than putting poles up, but they went with poles. I don't know whether... I think Rumpus was talking to George daily in order to do this, because George said that the Rainy Lake was an advanced Bedford level experiment, he called it. Walter Bislin's taken over the Rainy Lake thing now. But so this one is Rumpus's attempt to outdo George, and George in his advanced Bedford level. That I don't know if people are aware of the Rowbotham and Wallace, the two different original ones. Now we've done the Rowbotham one, the viewing 8 inches above the water, and it's pretty obvious that he didn't see anything. You can't. There's no way you can. The angle that your eye is cast upon the water, it turns into a mirror at a distance not far away from where you are. It's impossible. It blurs into itself. So Rowbotham, although he might have said something, he didn't actually do that. That's understandable that he was just bullshitting. But then Wallace decided to place a hump. Like they put targets, and they said that the center one was higher than the other two. But that's not what Rumpus is doing. Rumpus is doing away with the middle, and he's going for a drop. The full drop. We call it the full nutsack drop. Because he's looking out in the distance and measuring the total drop, not the hump in the center, which most people do mentally. No, Rumpus changed it. He went with George, the nutsack drop. So there's 3 different ways that you can do this. It's 1, you can just lie about what you've seen. 2, you can imagine that the center bit goes up. And 3, the Rumpus, the full nutsack drop. The total drop over the full distance using the total quadratic formula. Not inverting it and putting a hump in the middle. That's up to you. Whatever you want to imagine, however you want to imagine it, that's up to you. We're just going to show you what you actually see. Then you can make your own mind up what you want to imagine it means.
There you go. That's what I was thinking. Probably.
I must have CGI'd out the strings that it's flying from then.
And then they do the tag like a tag race. They be dragging, just running with the kite around the world. Oh, the sun should be here now. Holy shit, hurry up. Don't trip, don't fall, swim faster.
Yeah, that was.
Come on.
I think that photo with the sun in it, that was taken. Oh, yeah, it's just coming up at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so the sun was already setting.
Now, Institute got a good point because the chips are very useful for measuring things. Is this your backup plan for measuring?
Yes, sheep.
Okay, thanks. I thought so.
Yeah, all his mates had wandered out of view at that point. There was quite a crowd of them just sort of gently moseying up and down the riverbank. Yeah, just taking in the sights, I guess.
Yeah, chip is the only allowed units allowed by the quote, science is natural, not man-made people. So you got to measure everything in chips. That's why chips are hanging around on the
McToon in
level
the chat that says that.
Neighborhood.
Yep.
Research Flat Moon. All familiar old faces. Judy Bassett. McToon says, gotta lie to Flurf.
Yeah,
I've
nobody
never
stepped up,
understood
man.
that.
So what do I have to do to maybe people entertain the idea of showing up? Eliminate the present evidence part? Is it
Maybe
that
you should
scary?
title it Thursday Boom Day, Come and Talk Shit. Would you think that would make... No?
Hey, no backing up needed. No backing up of your evidence needed.
You know, I think it's strange. I mean, I know a lot of people aren't really that fussed in all of this sort of stuff, and it is only one of the like the founding, I call it the founding lies of flat Earth. But you'd have thought there'd be more people interested in what they're doing there. Like Rumpus is at Bedford Levels. He's gone there with Farmer's Boy. And what are they doing? Why's nobody asking him? Why are you putting a poll up there? What's it all about? What's it for? They're more interested in the sheep. I don't know how long this is going to go on for.
Today.
Thursday Boom Day, baseless assertions welcomed here.
Yeah, I like that. Friday festivities, baseless. Let me save that title for tomorrow.
Baseless assertions welcomed here. Or variations on that theme.
So after just showing a picture
Baseless
of a
Thursday.
stick in a
Baseless
field.
Friday, baseless Saturday, baseless, yeah. Ad nauseum.
Well, that's kind of what's going on everywhere. It's like most of the flat earthers are just staying in their own little cliques.
Well, you know where they've all gone, don't you?
Yeah. They're staying in their own little
They don't want-
bubbles, you know, yeah.
I think they're all in
So we have to go to
that
them.
new Discord server that Geo set up.
Yeah, Geo, yeah. They left Brandon's.
Oh dear. I randomly sometimes listen to Brandon's stream, you know, from say the night before, and I did that this morning, and all I caught was Travis not understanding how aircraft work. It was 30 seconds of priceless face palming. Well, of course, in our world, if a plane flies straight, it will fly into space, and it's like, really?
Right.
Did he just say that? I gave up.
Did you guys see that Quantum Eraser actually came out of his bubble to try and debate somebody?
No, I think, if I remember rightly, that actually happened in 24/7.
No, it was on Chemo. I guess Chemo set up his own little Discord server just for that purpose.
Oh, did he? I thought that happened in 24/7.
Oh, look.
I could be wrong, but I could have swore that
I was hoping there was going to be more talk about about Bedford levels, but I don't. It seems like, I'm sorry about this, people. This is an old stream from Jose's where Farmer's Boy's talking about him going to Bedford levels, and it seems as though there are a few people who seem like they're obsessed with other people. Are you interested? Anybody interested in this? Does it sound like it's? I'm pretty sure that they were talking more about the. Oh yeah, there you go. Oh, here we go.
If I remember rightly, that actually happened in 24/7.
See it in the picture.
No, well, no, it was on Chemo. I guess Chemo set up his own little Discord server just for that purpose.
Oh, did he? I thought that happened in 24/7.
I could be wrong, but I could have swore that Chemo set up his little Discord server so that Huey could debate this female, some new person that showed up in the community, named Meg.
Yeah, she turned up in Gems the other day. I think I didn't see her. I was at work.
The debate lasted what, like a few minutes. But what's funny is that
Dr. Bro? Who's that? Just entered the room.
You know,
big thank you
actually came out.
Hey, big thank you to Victory. Big thank you to Mr. Victory. This one makes more. Thank you. Go ahead, people.
No, I was saying what's funny is that he actually came out to debate this person. I mean, of course it was a female, you know, and she was new to the community, so of course he'd debate her. It's not like he'd debate anybody else, you know, who's been in the community for a long time.
How did she do?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't really call it a debate because it only lasted a few minutes, and her audio wasn't the greatest.
Mm.
So I mean, you know, and he pretty much was just shouting the whole time and asking her questions and like stupid questions and stuff. So, I wouldn't really classify it as a debate.
So just same old, same old.
I wouldn't call it a debate.
Yeah, pretty much. But if you check out Everett Anderson's channel, it's on there.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'll have a listen to her. I chatted with her for a few minutes the other day. Seems like a nice person.
Yeah, I think what she was talking about, as soon as you start talking about like the universe and something like, I think she was trying to. I'm not sure where she was going with what she was talking about, but you know, she probably should have stayed on something a little bit more. You know, started from the ground up.
Yeah. Well, when you get QE going, what's the universe? What's the universe? You know, crap.
Yeah, exactly.
Start from the ground up.
Universe.
She was a little bit strange to me because, you know, I said, you know, we were talking about Einstein and Newtonian gravity. And, you know, and she was basically offering to try and tell me the difference between the two of them for the orbit of the moon. How would the orbit of the moon be with Newtonian gravity versus Einsteinian gravity? And I said, hey, limits to 5 decimal places, but if you want to do the math, knock yourself out.
I mean, she seemed like a pretty intelligent young woman, but I don't know. She hasn't been in the community that long to try and debate QE.
Yeah, I'd just be interested in seeing what you came up with. QE, you know, I'm making the rubble bounce with QE and Nathan right now. I went over to Flat Earth Banjo today just because I was tired of abusing them as much as I was.
So
he's been abusing them. That's Dr. Bro. That was. He might sound familiar. So back in the day when he went by the Dr. Bro. Abusing QE and Nathan.
Photograph, does it show a very small person or a very big sheep?
How do I put this? Bev isn't exactly 6 foot tall.
I thought it was down to perspective.
Nowhere near 6 foot tall. Not exactly. Definitely not 6 foot tall. That would be much better. Again. Farmer's Boy didn't even come over to have a look at this stuff. He, you know, from a distance, Farmer's Boy is viewing this from. He's got no scale perception.
Myself.
I don't remember the sheep being an overly large sheep. It seemed fairly average in size as sheep go, but it was the other side of the river, so you know, allowing for perspective.
You didn't CGI a tiny little person in there, then?
I didn't. Anyway, he was busy sort of 5 miles upriver at Welney Bridge, so taking photos. Through his auto level of everything except the bridge at the other end. Funny how he didn't take a photo of that through the auto level.
It's not funny at all. We'll show you it. If you want to come in on Saturday, you'll find out why it's not funny. Or you can maybe think it's funny. Who knows? Seem to laugh at some really weird shit. These
I
guys.
wonder why.
Maybe perspective. It disappeared for the bottom up so much that you couldn't see it.
Yeah, what's up with the old Bevs? I haven't heard from. Well, I don't really go over to the server anymore. So.
Well, I went in there briefly the other day, and no, thank you. Well,
Same old stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, truth hurts.
Farmer's Boy's never been.
You know, mate, Bev only has a few rules, and there's one comment in there that broke two of them straight away. You know, when you've got people who just automatically have to start saying nasty shit about other people, no, thank you, not the place for me.
I don't get. I don't know what Farmer's Boy's talking about. If anybody comes in here, you know what it is. You get a conversation. Farmer's Boy never came in for a conversation, and he's just imagining. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mike. Should I be crying? Oh, thank you. Mike says, I support Bev's non-violent approach to conflict resolution. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think you might hear a bit of Farmer's Boy in this. Thank you. Farmer's Boy explaining about him coming into this Discord server, which it's just slander. It's misrepresenting us, but I mean, people are allowed to do this, and this is modern day in the internet. Farmer's Boy has this opinion of other people. A bit like, thank you very much, Mike, a bit like Fight the Flat Earth. They can just say things about people, and then other people are imagined that they're like that. Well, we're not. These people have been talking this sort of stuff, like about this, about me particularly, but more than that, it's this Discord server. This Discord server has been great for me. It's helped me learn a lot, and there are a lot of people that are very good to talk to. If you want to bounce ideas off people, these are some of the best people you could ever do that with. And for what Farmer's Boy is about to say about us, and it's just to stop people from coming round to engage in conversation. And anybody now, I consider, that wants to shut down conversation, and well, they're the things we don't need. They're the bad influences. We want to encourage conversation, genuine conversation, with an aim to getting somewhere, to progressing, not just talking shit. We're not into that. So if you want to come in, please do. On the Level Discord community server, come on in. Get some proper conversation. You'll see some real stuff. Maybe you might understand a real argument. Don't let people misrepresent us. Come on in. Find out for yourself. We're not like this.
No, one or two of them were sort of being polite, but still being bloody stupid at the same time. When you've got them citing Peter and Pete videos, you know, debunking.
Oh my God!
And you just
I've never
think, yeah,
even seen
whatever.
any of the videos.
Oh, go back and watch some of them. But really.
Pete and Pete are okay. They're good at making videos, and I think their approach is pretty funny. I like Pete and Pete. I don't know why Farmer's Boy has to do this, but I don't think anybody ever cited Pete and Pete. They might have just had a Pete and Pete video posted in the chat, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Pete and Pete are good guys.
Really get your oven mitts out, because these are the pair of chumps who say that water is an element, and it isn't hydrogen and oxygen. It should be an element all of its own in the periodic table. And it's like, no, we know what water's made of. We know it's hydrogen and oxygen. And
do you remember those Farmer's Boy? Do you remember those two skinny comedian brothers, twins that used to be on TV? God, I can't remember their name, but that's who Bill and Bob, whatever their name is, reminds me of.
Can I? Boom time. We got Leo came through with the first super chat today. Look at that, $2.22. This is such a fun show, he says. Hey, thank you, Leo. I appreciate that, brother, and thank you for giving me money. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for giving me money. Paige says Farmer's Boy is adding anything he's been told to in an FE chat. He's been told to. Yeah, that's why we call him a Farmer's Boy. That's the typical Farmer's Boy. This is what Farmer's Boys do. It's their job. They just talk shit about people. Not giving anybody a right to reply or anything. They do it. He's been doing it to me for years. I know it's going to be a hard job for me to claw back all of the shit that's been talked about me. But you're going to see the rise of the conversation. It's going to have to be a rise of the conversation. Anybody in text chat now, they will or could possibly be a chatbot. Chatbot texting is getting too good. The only way to do it is to be actual conversation, talking. Yeah, you've got to be honest though, on the level. Got a community ready made for it. Come and have a conversation. And don't listen to people like this talking shit.
Boom.
But yeah, when you've got people sort of citing Peter and Pete as a credible source of information, no, you're either trolling or you're just words fail me.
Aren't those two of the most successful scientists on flat Earth, Peter and Pete?
If you want to call them scientists, yeah, I guess so. But
like high-level scientists, they do experiments with gases and electricity and all kinds of good stuff, right?
Oh, they do also.
Yeah, I really like Pete and Pete. Yeah,
their new stuff. They had just a video not too long ago, a couple days ago. I didn't get to finish it, but it was a really interesting beginning.
Yeah. If you want to have to try thinking, right? Try thinking a little bit differently about things. Nobody's citing anything. Nobody's saying that it's a new scientific journal or whatever. Just watch that stuff with an open mind and see what you think of it. Don't be put off by Farmer's Boy and people like that. Because that's what I think Farmer's Boy's there for. He's there to sway other people from watching this sort of stuff. Because there's too many questions that comes from once you start into these sort of stuff. Farmer's Boy can't answer them. He'd rather talk shit about them.
Lots of things. They just their conclusions always appear to be horrendously wrong.
The conclusions are always horrendously wrong.
Because their conclusions are not this global.
Yeah,
They have to be global.
It has no substitute for it. It's just like that their conclusions are wrong. It depends where you put the model. Put it after the conclusion. Don't put it before the conclusion. Leads you
Yeah,
into
because
trouble.
I can't remember who it was I was talking to now, but I said, "Oh, come on, you can't take any notice of that. That's Peter and Pete." And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Come on, they're the guys who said the water should be an element." And he said, "Look, what, like fire, earth, and air?" No, elements as in the periodic table.
I don't know who he's talking about. Or to.
He's talking about this Mendeleev table invented in, I think, in 19th
No, he's talking
century.
about in this server. He's talking about when he came over here. People were citing Peter and Pete, and he's just said, "What do you mean, like it should be an element?" And somebody said, "What, like fire and air?" I don't know who said that. He's making stuff up. Farmer's Boy. It didn't happen in this server, but that's what he's saying.
I don't know, but thank you for that title and thank you for inspiring me, because tomorrow we will definitely gonna have.
Yeah, Farmer's Boy saying.
Yeah, in ancient times, yes, you know, Greeks, they called it, yes, water, earth, air, and fire elements.
Yeah, but they didn't reply that back to Farmer's Boy when he said that it's not an element. Water. That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, so this is not from this server.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have a Friday festivities, baseless assertions welcome. Baseless assertions are welcome. And it is I hope we're gonna have participation, because I will make many baseless assertions, and I'm gonna commit to them like I mean it, like I'm right. And I hope more people come in and talk about their baseless assertions. I love it, man. I love it.
Outstanding. Oh dear.
Oh dear, says Farmer's Boy. Big silence.
Big shout out, thank you guys for making these festivities possible. I want a proper shout out to Dr. Bob in the house, Earth is Live, 11 Chimp, Farmer's Boy, Male Bro, O Alem, Solaris, and Tears. And big thank you to everybody for watching on YouTube. I see you guys in the chat box. I've been reading like 60% of all your comments. I'll try to scan around and try to find some other stuff, you know, to give you warnings like, yo, retract that comment. But everything been beautiful today, man. I appreciate the trolling responsibly, everybody. And all of you watching, I encourage you to hit that like or dislike on the stream. I really appreciate it. Boom.
No, Jose. Shout out to you for taking time out of your day.
I was hoping there was more of the Farmer's Boy stuff. Come on.
You know, science, astronomy, physics, and the nonsense of flat Earth.
Yeah, man, it's interesting. I mean, a lot of times we go and we actually entertain more the philosophical aspect and the logical aspect of this whole discussion on this corner of the YouTube. But that's part of it, you know. A lot of it is logical and just philosophical, you know.
Jose? I've heard that said a lot over there about Jose. Philosophical and logical.
I'm not sure if he understands words he's using. But okay.
Yeah, I think somebody's just told him to say that, I think.
I believe. All right, and I actually did get money. Look at that.
Nobody knows what to say when he says stuff like that.
This came via Citizen 9. Citizen 9, thank you very much for hitting me up on PayPal, brother. Appreciate it. And he say, unquote, fully paid up. JG Tard here. Fully paid up. JG Tard here. Happy to help when I can. Hey, thank you very much. And I am happy to welcome you to the JG Tard Club. Thank you, sir. Shout out to Citizen 9.
He does actually have... Is he still going? Does he still have that as one of his membership things? I hope so. I don't know if there's anybody out there still a member of Jose. Does he have the...
Yeah, they were so angry. What if I call you yesterday? It was Rakia, and there was one or two more people, flat earthers. What if I call you JG Tard? Would you like that? I said, like, he don't bother me. Now, spamming is a different thing. If every single comment you're gonna type JG Tard on JG Tard on JG Tard, that's considered spamming, you know. So you gotta retract that. It's like, I mean, oh, but you called the Bev Tard. I don't know what you're defending him like. Like he owes you something. Like I don't know. Like you're part of the. Like you're one of the evangelists or something. But hey, it is what it is, man. You can call me JG Tard every once in a while. Don't bother me. But most important, Mr. Victory's Radio came through with a big $10 super chat. Hey, $10?
So let me get this right. Jose started calling his subscribers JG Tards because somebody had said, why are you calling us Bev Tards, right? Remember, I'm not in this. I'm not watching it. I'm not even in the chat. And Jose's talking about me and talking about calling his subscribers JG Tards. Because, I don't know, it just doesn't... I don't know.
Strange politics.
Well, what you have to do is you have to take on the Fight the Flat Earth thing. It's still going on in my head. Like, Fight the Flat Earth started off pretty badly, in a bad way. And he's ended up actually assaulting his neighbour. Jose starts off like this. And I don't know, it dwindles away. There's not many of the Fight the Flat Earth people left. There was a load of them ridiculing people, but there's not many people left. Farmer's Boy, maybe. Even Rumpus isn't around anymore. Yeah, Sean Hawkins in the chat. Bob. But where are they now? Have they found somewhere else? Are they on TikTok harassing other people? Because they're not around this arena. I don't know. They're not. I'm even thankful that they're not here. I don't want them back here. Where are they? Are these the sort of people that will go nowhere, right? Do they just go somewhere else? Do you think they've stopped doing what they do and there's only people like Farmer's Boy left? Because Farmer's Boy still is out there. And there's a few more. Not many. Not many at all now.
Taken, Mr. Victory, he says, thank you for playing Balanced Truth, but you are the weakest link. Goodbye. Hey, thank you very much, Mr. Victory's Radio. Appreciate that, brother.
Hey, Jose.
Dr. Bob, how you doing, sir?
How you guys doing today?
Hey, all is good, man. I don't know. I think I scare some people off with titling the show "Present Evidence" for it, but I don't know. It's nothing to be worried about if there's evidence for claims that are made.
Well, I wanted to talk to the guys in the debunking community for a second, see what they thought about something. How about instead of looking at optical evidence for the flat Earth, we make them give us distances? How'd you find the distance to that? You know, you say it's 9.41 miles to the Black Swan. How'd you find that distance? Because that's the globe distance. You can't use the globe distance. What's the flat Earth distance?
Exactly. That's a good point.
And, you know, like
normally every time they use distances, where they have to go to either Google Earth, Google Maps, which is a globe.
It's a good point, that. If a distance is a globe distance, what is a flat Earth distance?
For me, distance is just a straight line. So, sorry.
That's a globe thing, though, right? So if that's a globe distance, right? If a distance is a globe distance, what's a flat Earth distance? Huh? I think Dr. Bob is a genius when he brings in arguments like this. I think he's got an exploded mind. To be honest, it doesn't make any sense, but this is what we have to go with. This is modern science.
Yeah, those are great circles.
Modern
So
science.
how far is
It's a
it
circle, see?
from New York?
It's a great circle. You think it's a straight line. It's a great circle.
So great vertical distance.
Yep. Yeah, all the distances are great circles. I mean, you thought they were a straight line, and I did as well. I thought a horizontal was a straight line because all distances are measured horizontally, right? YouTube doctors, or perhaps I don't know. I don't know whether he's still a doctor or not. Ex-doctor, perhaps. But he's researching the flat moon now. Flat moon researcher. Says
To Southampton, England. How would you find that on a flat Earth? You know, do you have to put a chain? How are you going to do that over the ocean? How would you find the distance?
How would you find
You got to know how far it is.
How would you
You
get
gotta
that?
Figure out how much gas and food you need to pack in the boat, you know?
Yeah. How much gas and food
It is
to pack in the
essential
boat.
for measuring this great circle.
Boat measurements, yeah. Have to. Food. It goes. The measurement of this distance is obviously related to food and fuel. So the answer would have to have food and fuel related to it. The distance that Bob says. Flat Earth distance. I don't know.
How are you going to find that? What's your formula for that? How do you calculate that?
What's your formula? See? What's your formula? It's got to have food and fuel and probably some sort of a boat.
They'll say it's impossible.
They'll say it's
Well,
impossible.
yet we can find it, though. So how do we
Bob
find
can
it?
find it.
Yep.
So it's not impossible. And if they don't believe, and then what you do is you hit
That'd
them
be
on
impossible.
latitude and longitude.
Here we go.
Oh, that's a construct for the globe? Not a problem. Send me the latitude and longitude of your house right now. Send me a screenshot of your location on your phone and see if I can't send you a picture of your front door.
See, he's forceful with his argumentation, isn't he? Doxing, positioning people. That's how you get people to dox themselves. From Dr. Bob. It's no wonder he might not be a doctor. Did anybody get that? Did you mark it down? Do you want me to replay it?
Wait, so you send him your address, your latitude, your longitude, your last 8 of your social security number, and he'll find you and send you a picture. That's amazing.
Send a picture of your front door.
Brilliant.
You thought you were just having an argument about, I don't know what he was talking about. Do you remember how we started the argument? How'd you find the distance from Southampton to somewhere or whatever in your boat and you want your formula? Give me your formula. Ha ha ha. No, you can't. So you get them on the longitude and latitude and then send them a picture of the front door and go, ha ha ha. 'Tis globe.
Globe science.
I mean, it has to be, yeah. I mean, that's a doctor for you. You've got to trust him with his argument. Never been beat in argument yet, as Bob.
Oh, you don't want to do that? So you're willing to accept latitude and longitude are real?
I mean, if
That's it. Just are you willing to accept longitude and latitude are real? Boom. Get you with that one.
they're saying that those aren't real, then it isn't basically, with their logic, it isn't doxing if you give out someone's coordinates because those are not the actual position.
Exactly. Exactly. So, ask him if it would be all right if you publish the latitude and longitude of their house. Or why don't they just do it themselves?
Yeah, they couldn't say that you can't do it. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but they would have no reason not to do it because, I mean, it's not knowledge of the position on Earth.
Yeah.
Well, it's not an address. It's not a street.
Yeah.
I can't take a ruler and find how far it is from the corner.
He did say he'd show you your front door.
So
he seems to have
so
forgotten
if they
about
accept latitude and longitude, we won't, use the obvious, well, that's spherical geometry things. Welcome back to the globe reality. Let's just say, okay, well, I want you.
Can I just point out here that longitude and latitude are perpendicular? Make of that what you will. But the relationship between the two, longitude and latitude, is a perpendicular relationship. You may find that strange, but that's what Bob's talking about right now. I'll send you the picture of your front door.
I want you to tell me how far it is between New York and Southampton, England, and I want you to show me that using a triangle on a flat plane. And the triangle has to have 180 degrees internal angle.
Triangles do have 180 degrees internal. I think he means a straight line distance from New York to Southampton.
What are the 3
How many
points of your
sandwiches?
triangle?
What's that?
How many sandwiches?
For your triangle.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's in the formula, isn't it?
About
That's
a
part of one
gallon.
of the different
Yeah.
ones.
About a gallon.
How many sandwiches? Yeah, how many sandwiches does your car do to the mile?
It's you.
Anyway, sorry.
Three meals a day, I think.
And let's calculate it.
Calculate it.
We'll do it together.
It's great. Yeah, do it together.
I have asked flat earthers like a year ago. I asked, where do you get the distance to the orbits? And they said Google Earth, and I said, well, it's based on a globe. So who measured it? Where do you get the information using their standards? Because I mean, obviously someone has to measure it physically for it to be a distance. So then they just say, no, someone has done it. I'm like, who?
Well, it's globe distance. It's a globe distance. If you
like when we go to, Ollie was asking earlier about Bedford in between the two bridges when we go there on Saturday. It's 6 miles. That's on a map, right? Now, because it's on Google Maps, does that make it any different? Does that make it not a straight line distance? Is it actually, do they think it's a curve? Because that is impossible. It's the non-developable surface, sphere, and map, 2D maps. All maps are flat. They're not. That is a developable surface, so you can't have both.
If you use a globe distance, you have to acknowledge the globe. Simple as that. Because
what's a globe distance? Does anybody know what a globe distance is, or is that what we just normal people call a distance?
Yeah.
Is anyone aware of
adding the globe to a distance? You just do it with the distance. You don't need to add the globe bit.
Yeah, it's just called distance
it's a bit like
to normal
tangents
people.
And circles. And...
Yeah.
Mm.
This guy's pretending to be a doctor, I think. I don't know whether he is. He
yeah,
might...
from one point to another.
Yeah. A to B, like from the bridge, from one bridge to the other bridge. That's in order for us to conceptualize what we're doing. Well, you've got to admit that from the top of one bridge to the top of the other bridge is straight line. Hopefully we can get each other, wave at each other. You'd have to say that from where you're taking the picture to the other person, that's from point A to point B. How do you conceptualize that? Distance. The shortest distance, I'm guessing. I don't know. What do these people think?
If you can't acknowledge the globe, you can't use, what's a globe distance? It's meaningless.
Like
local.
Does anyone see like a fragmented mind here? It's sort of backwards. The model's been put in the wrong place to a point that he can't even understand what a distance is unless he puts his model there. And then he's putting that on other people. If you can't see about this globe, then you're not going to see that the distance is a globe distance. And you think it's just a normal distance, but you don't have a globe to imagine that it's a globe distance. So I'm going to help you imagine whatever's in his mind. I think it's an exploded mind. I really do. Yeah. This is what I think. This has been allowed, and these sort of steps have been taken to end us up here. 2023, the Enlightenment, the Discord Enlightenment. It should really come into some philosophy. It's quite. I think that there's comedy, value, entertainment in it.
So
Definitely
what's the
call
flat
this
Earth distance, Nathan?
Enlightenment.
Let's do the
Nathan?
calculation. Let's do the triangle between New York, Southampton, and the North Pole and figure out each leg of that triangle.
Thinks he's talking to
How much fuel and food do you need to take if you're driving from New York to, say, Disneyland, Florida? And why do you need all that fuel and food?
Yeah. How much gas do you tank? How fast does the ocean
know,
water
How much
go?
gas?
You know,
That-
can
that's
you make
really-
Is the ocean.
No, I was
How many
just going to say,
butties?
Bob, that is really a good point. You brought that up. I mean,
there's no refraction.
Now that I-
Did
now
you do
that-
it in
my friend.
soup?
Right, exactly.
So let's just hammer them down. They say, well, where'd you get R? Well, Bob put out a video the other day that gave 4 different ways to get R, and it all comes back to the same answer. How do you get the distance, Nathan? What's the D?
Wow. Has anyone ever heard this argument before? I don't think it took off very well, but he sounds aggressive, doesn't he? And he's talking to Nathan. This is Jose. I don't know. And Bob's done 4 different ways to. Bob's put a video out quite a bit ago. This.
That should be our new battle cry. What's the D?
Someone in Brand.
That should be their new battle cry. Is it any wonder it didn't take off? Do you want to hear that again? I might have saved this one just for that clip. Here we go.
Bob put out a video the other day that gave 4 different ways to get R, and it all comes back to the same answer. How do you get the distance, Nathan? What's the D? That should be our new battle cry. What's the D?
It should be. It should be. Everybody, let's get this one active. Where's the D? That's what should be. Come on. Maybe that's why Blue and Bob aren't talking. Do you want to hear it again? I can't.
You get the distance, Nathan. What's the D? That should be our new battle cry. What's the D?
Someone in Brandon's, or was it in Geo's news server, asked me. It was phase one in Brandon said that we need to make a prediction using the globe, and I said there's a flight. It's on 5th of October that goes from Buenos Aires to Darwin. I can predict the flight time using the globe model and the weather prediction. And I asked if he can do a prediction based on his understanding. And he kind of didn't say anything. He just said, yeah, sure, yeah. So you assume the globe. Like, no, I'm testing the globe.
No, ask him how far it is on a flat Earth from Buenos Aires to Sydney. Just tell me how many miles it
Where's
is.
the D?
You can have your pick. You can use miles. You can use nautical miles. You can even use those funny little kilometer thingies.
Straight
So
lines.
tell me how far that's going to be exactly. And I'll tell you what, I'll give you 10%. As long as you're within 10%.
10%.
There you go.
That's actually
Doing
actually what I
deals.
said to him. I said, I'll give you a time, and you give me a time, and you have to be within 10% of the actual time
10%.
of the flight.
Yeah, I did one the other day where we had a cruise ship going from the North Island of New Zealand to Sydney, and in order to make it in the time that it would take to make it, that cruise ship had to do 41 knots.
Yeah. I mean, that would be.
How many sandwiches? Has he said how many sandwiches yet? I was hoping we were going to get back to the Farmer's Boy. Didn't seem to be that much. There must be more left.
Very
in this.
fast
Must be
cruise
more
ship.
left in this.
Yes.
Yeah, they call them hydroplanes.
Hey, Bob,
Yeah,
really quick. John Rapp gave you coordinates here. He said, Jose, here's a test for Dr. Bob to demonstrate with. Pretend this is my house. And he gave you a set of coordinates. I can paste those in the daily boom, I mean, I guess.
Stick in the daily boom. I'm on my phone right now. I'm on my phone right now, but I'll walk over to the computer and I'll go ahead and put it up.
Yeah, I put in the daily boom on Spencer here for you.
Wow. It could be anyone, couldn't it?
And in the background, you guys are enjoying a series of memes.
Yeah, if somebody doesn't want to dox themselves, that's understandable. Just tell them, choose your nearest Burger King.
Yeah,
Brian Mavitt.
On Sydney Harbour, mate.
Really quick. Brian Mavitt, if you're watching the screen, do not take any of these memes personal. It's just having fun, all right?
I haven't the faintest idea where my nearest Burger King is.
Sorry, mate. I was in another window.
I wouldn't be
That's right. If you
Wait a minute. Oh, here we go. Oh, Rumpus is in.
cheese and the cake, and then look at the food and look at my family.
That's
She
why
introduced
I've
like
saved
everybody.
it.
We
It's
do
gonna
a
get
few
good.
little clips like that. I don't know, fun times. Brought to you by the P900. That was P900 to the video. The Jetan. All right. I had to do that. I don't know why. Boom.
Come on.
All right, we got a paradox over here. Twin car paradox. How can two cars drive on the same piece of road, but one street left and the other street to the right?
Stairs.
Yeah, one steers left, the other steers right.
Oh, one steers left and
Steers,
the other
yes.
steers right. Straight.
Because the road's curved and they're going in opposite directions.
Does anyone want to have a... Is that a paradox?
No.
I wouldn't say so either. But... I don't know. It's... Maybe it's a paradox to someone who has a exploded mind. You've got to be asking yourself, though, what's a fucking paradox? I don't know.
Rumpus, we saw a few pictures of the on the Bedford level that Farmer Boy shared earlier. Just 3 landscape pictures. I'm gonna pop them up, and we had this one.
Yeah, this is after he buggered me off and left me to it.
Right, so where is Rumpus? We're going to Bedford Levels at this weekend. On the level. Where's Rumpus? Where's he gone? He's missing. He's meant to be doing a test.
and it was
this test.
Sorry, farmers.
Yeah, the first, yeah, 3 pictures, but the interesting one was this with a sheep.
Sheep.
It was a sheep.
There were a lot of sheep.
You've got to
I know,
have.
he
You've
told
got.
me.
You've got to have sheep.
Yeah, but see, this picture's not got the wee dwarf in it with the stick.
No, this is the original photo that I took. Not. Yeah.
Let me do a holler and a big boom shout out to John Rapp, because the second super chat today for $2 Australian. Thank you, John Rapp. He says, "Pure water tastes flat. Trust your senses." Thank you, John Rapp. Appreciate it.
Farmers, they posted a picture you taken of the thing bending with me in it.
Yes.
Where did you post that?
Where did I post it? I can't remember where I posted that now.
Okay, because that's the one they captured with me in it and the bending, and they said, and
Because
of course they didn't. Go on.
They did what they didn't highlight the fact that it was at exactly that point where the wind was at its strongest when you said,
Yes.
"Oh, let's race the target," and it,
Yes. Farmers
Of
were
course
saying,
the wind-
no, don't do it, no. And I said, yes, it's strong enough, because I'd been there before when it'd been windy, and it is
Yeah,
strong enough.
But I guess that's why that tube's
Very
now got a
good
bend
ball.
in it.
Could actually, yeah, you might be right, actually, yeah.
So
Yeah, they didn't
Rumpus
realise it
is-
was windy, and apparently they thought the tube was like that. I don't know what it was. Bev posted that picture. He obviously copied it from somewhere. I didn't mind you posting it. I suppose eventually I'm going to start posting these things. And oh, by the way, we're gonna be in the local paper. I told you that, didn't I?
It's a
Oh
local
yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, the Welby, whatever it was, I can't remember now. But yeah,
Yeah, and
We're not. I don't think we're going to be in the local paper. At least nobody's told us of the local paper that we're coming. But I mean, we aren't putting polls up on the thing. We're just going down there with cameras and stuff. So, but Rumpus is going to be in the local paper for not doing this test, I think. Or maybe Tractor drives it over pole in field. Lost and found. Has somebody lost a pole at the side of the canal?
that did look back. That's in its lowered state in that picture you're looking at the moment. It went up a good 10 more feet than that, and from distance, that's it. Yeah.
There you go.
And that's still in its lowered. That's still not anything like full.
no, that's not. That's only sort of part way there, isn't it? But it was just like bloody hell, that's bending. But that was, it was at exactly that moment that I think the wind was at its strongest.
Indeed.
Let's put it up now. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, look at it. 5 meters easily, isn't it? Everyone impressed? Has anybody else put up a pole at the side of a canal for the globe?
Globe banner.
Yeah. Go on.
Is it so that's the exact height, is it? What was it?
Farmer's Boy said
5 meters, was it?
Farmer's Boy said the pole's 5 meters and he's got an extendable winch.
Did he have a height of that?
Yeah,
pole?
2 or 3, another 2 or 3 meters on a winch mechanism. It's impressive.
Yeah.
But nobody knows for what purpose yet, right?
Yeah, it looks
just a pole. Yeah.
Strong winds.
Bendy pole. I think I've got on a blue. The Blue Marble says the axis of gyration is what makes that pole bend.
Is your Rumpus in the picture?
That is me, yeah.
That's Rumpus. It is.
That is me.
I just realised how much it was bending. I thought I need to just step back and get a photo of this,
Yeah.
Were you drinking? Were you trying to figure out, like, damn it, it's really windy, it's bending, what the hell is going on?
No, it was. I think you was on the phone to.
Was it my woman or Andrew? One of the two.
Andrew, I think it was at that.
His woman, Andrew.
That point, yeah, I can't remember, but
yeah, I mean, it has been. Come.
I did note. I did comment earlier on that Bev has put up some photos that he took through his auto level, but the one glaring omission is the photo of the bridge that's nearest us, you know, the one that's 6 miles from Welney. And he strangely didn't take a photo of that through his auto level.
It's weird, isn't it? Anyone got any guesses why? If you want to know why, come in Saturday, you'll find out. You'll find out why Rumpus has never done it. Because Rumpus has got an auto level, supposedly. And Rumpus will have took pictures, won't he?
I wonder why.
Indeed, he has taken a photograph, though. He's got a strange pink sheen on it. I don't know whether he's using a filter to try and peek, because it was terrible visibility when he was doing
That's
it.
what I suspect that's what he's doing, trying to cut through the haze, because it was,
right.
It really was. It didn't really clear up all day, did it? I don't think.
Not really, no.
No, not like it did the other week.
It's got a terrible pink haze on it. That's what we call an infrared P1000.
You know what? This is a moment for history. This is the first ever picture of the Rumpus that we have ever seen besides the profile picture. Big breakthrough, big advancement in technology.
Look at that. You can see the back of his head. Well done.
Yeah. That's quite good.
Yeah,
It keeps the mystery going, my farmers. You did a good job there.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Good stuff, man.
Though actually, there is another picture going around in which some girl on Bev's thing said war. She thought it was obviously very sexy, but that's understandable. I can understand that.
I'm just thinking though, we can't see your face, Rumpus. So is this actual evidence that Rumpus exists, or is it CGI? Come on, tell us the truth now.
Well, I'm drugged farmers because it's the only reason I've drugged him to the state where I left him abandoned in the middle of the night, and he's still not complaining. Actually, he's still taking it in real. I've drugged him up.
You know.
No, I kept phoning Rumpus up and saying, "Are you fucking coming back here or what?"
Mr. Victory, if you're still there, can you put Bev next to the Rumpus here with the stick, please? Thank you.
Yeah, I did. I thought farmers took it well actually, because he thought I was trying to get a picture of him from Welney Bridge, and and I managed to lose these bloody goddamn adapters on the tripod, and I couldn't find them for 10 minutes, and it meant I lost the light. Meanwhile, farmers was thinking, "What the hell's going on here? It's getting a bit dark."
The Rumpus. Hold on, is saying, is that a mast moving at 1,000 miles per hour to the left? Asking for a friend, man.
800, but I think it's about 500 or 600 miles an hour. It's moving along with me, of course.
Yeah.
And the
now this picture is as monumental as the Bigfoot footage right now. It's exciting, man.
This is proof that the Earth is revolving. There's no wind at all. It's just the speed of the Earth revolving that's bending that wand.
That's
you know.
right. It's the rotation that's doing it. Yeah, quite. Yeah, and it's being going, and you can see the.
See, they're all taking the piss out of him. And nobody wants to ask him what the fuck he's doing with the pole.
Did they call it a wand? Guy.
I don't know what they're doing. Nobody wants to actually ask him why the fuck he's there with a pole. Anyone got any ideas exactly what Rumpus is meant to be doing with his pole at the side of the canal? Because this just seems like a really strange science experiment that Rumpus is doing.
The graduation and the speed as it goes up, you see, up here it goes faster, and it gets left behind more as it goes higher.
The problem with doing this sort of thing where we were is it's so flat and open that when the wind picks up,
so what? Say that again, Farmer's Boy. Go on.
Up, you see, up here it goes faster, and it gets left behind more as it goes higher.
The problem with doing this sort of thing where we were is it's so flat and open that when the wind picks up,
just breeze past that, right? It's okay for you know, Farmer's Boy. It's a Farmer's Boy. Yeah, it's all right. They'll never notice.
There's
Farmer's
Boy, there's no hiding from it. Because
no hiding from
out in the middle of the fens, it's just so bloody flat.
So bloody.
And in fact, actually,
there you go again.
When the wind picks up, there's no hiding from it.
No hiding from it.
Because out in the middle of the fens, it's just so bloody flat.
Yeah, it's like Farmer's Boy, he's fine. Like nobody notices, do they? Nobody notices the things that people say. Because I bet in a bit, Farmer's Boy is going to be really contradictory to himself and not even know that he's just said that. Because he didn't mean that, obviously. When he said it, that's not what he meant. He meant the other one, right? The flat earthers, the stupid flat earthers, the flat earthers that say it's flat. Not the Farmer's Boys that say it's flat.
This is curving flatness. Obviously.
Yeah. It's Farmer's Boy flat.
And in fact, actually, about I just got an email today from the local paper, and they said they'll help me with the internet connection at the bridge.
Okay.
Oh, that's handy.
It is handy, yes. So
It's
the
a
pub
load
was
of
going to do
bullshit,
it, but
that's what it
this
is.
might be an even better way of getting a high-speed connection, which has been troubling me for months.
Right, and this is what Rumpus did, and as we will show you on Saturday, you don't need a high-speed connection. You just go there with your mobile phones. Yeah, you might struggle with a few bits, maybe a bit patchy, but we'll show you. It can be done. Discord is a brilliant place to do this sort of stuff. You've got to come into Discord to be able to see this. We can't stream it to YouTube. I stream from YouTube from my house. I'm not going to be at my house. I'm going to be 4 hours down the other side of the country. Can't click to stream it to YouTube. I can only stream it from my phone and from the auto level into Discord. So you're going to have to come into Discord to see all of this stuff at Bedford that Rumpus is talking about now. The paper's helping him out with a high-speed connection. It's obviously never going to happen with Rumpus. And we'll show you this weekend why. Why this is a load of bullshit.
All right, there's a question over here. Sean Hawkins says, has anyone ever seen a picture of Gem Panda and Spurskimo together? I think they're the same person. I actually seen them. I seen them in a video together. So yeah.
They're not the same person. Definitely.
Yeah, Farmer's a bit of a devil with the little tools. Actually, he was a real demon with the old tools with me. He was. We had to do quite a bit of work on that to make that little yellow thing you can see at the base. There is a tape measure, and Farmers and I were struggling to get that to work because there's a little tape measure that, as the pole goes up, it pulls a tape measure into the tube, and so you can just read it off just as a number. And
all
he
right.
and I
There's an updated picture. There's an updated picture right here. This is good.
Right, so what they're doing here, they put a picture of me in there, and you'll see the conversation change now. Rumpus was explaining his tape measure that he's got in the pole as you winch it up. There's a tape measure to tell you how tall it is. I think it's ingenious. We should have had more of a construction on this. Rumpus should have done a video on his pole. Never mind what he's expecting to do with it. It's an engineering masterpiece. More people should get one. Rumpus's pole. Extendable.
Good.
Can I just point out that yes, I did indeed say that the fens are flat because they are flat.
And of course, in flat, in surveying terms, that means level, and that means curved.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Victory. This is beautiful.
You could say they're relatively flat.
There really
That wasn't me.
Globe flat.
I didn't say that at all, right? I haven't edited this. This is a direct video from Jose's, and that is what Rumpus said. Let's see, I'll go back and do it again.
Yes, I did indeed say that the fens are flat because they are
Farmer's Boy.
flat.
And of course, in flat, in surveying
Here we
terms,
go.
that means level, and that means curved.
Yes.
There you go.
This
So,
is logic. This
what's
is
flat?
their logic.
What's flat, though? What are the flat earthers? To Rumpus. Why? What's up with that? Now, what's up with the flat earthers, according to what Rumpus has just said? Are they stupid? Or is there a bit of an inconsistency here now? Let's see. I'll let you hear it again.
Flat Because they are flat.
And of course, in flat, in surveying terms, that means level, and that means curved.
Yes.
Thank you.
There
you go.
Flat doesn't mean level. So this
But
is not the same.
in Rumpus's logic, if flat means level, which means curved, then flat earthers
are not flat earthers because
they're curved. They agree with Rumpus. Rumpus agrees with the flat earthers now. He's just redefined flat earthers into the globe. It's like, well done, Rumpus. And he says surveyors think that. One more time.
Because they are flat.
And of course, in flat, in surveying terms, that means level, and that means curved.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Victory. This is beautiful.
You could say they're relatively flat.
There really isn't anything much in the way of elevation in the fens.
So it is elevation. That's all Farmer's Boy's talking about is elevation. Yeah.
That's what we mean by flat. There's no hills or mountains or valleys. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well,
you know, sorry to interrupt you, Fires, but that's a really good the way that's been put in there. Actually, the lighting on Bev,
it's
actually,
perfect.
It's almost, except for the fact he's a bit small. Other than that,
he is small.
He is small.
He is quite small. But other than that, actually, the lighting on it is.
I'm quite small, yes. Brilliant observation. 10 out of 10.
Really? Yes, the shadow. That's what it's in. The shadows are in the right direction, aren't they? Of the post and him. So it all looks right. Yeah.
He's small due to perspective, off to the top.
Yeah,
can you show the one with the sheep again, please? Show that. I thought that was excellent.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, we did. I decided not to accost Bev on the grounds that if he did said something obnoxious, I'd be forced to punch him, and I decided that probably wouldn't be a good thing.
Yes, yes, I know what.
Yeah. Do you want to hear that?
What he's talking about, really?
Oh, you might not know. When we went to Bedford, I think there was me, Spot On, Bloods, my two sons, and someone else. I can't remember who it was. And we were at the bridge, all with the cameras and the auto level, and we were talking to this guy called Mark, was it? Adam? Was it Adam? I think we were talking to a guy called Adam from the Globe Skeptics, Cambridge Skeptics, right? Cambridge Skeptic Society. And he was there waiting for Mark. And as we were talking to him, Rumpus and Farmer's Boy turned up in the car park on the other side. And they decided not to come over. It seemed like they ran away, but not, apparently. Rumpus decided, this is the first time I heard of this as well, really. Because, to our knowledge, they just went away. They didn't come over and say, "What you doing? Let's have a look at all of that." And then this is why.
I decided not to accost Bev on the grounds that if he did said something obnoxious, I'd be forced to punch him, and I decided that probably wouldn't be a good thing.
So yeah, Rumpus didn't come over that day because he'd have punched me if I'd have said something obnoxious. But I mean, what would that be to Rumpus? I mean, who knows? So he decided not to come over because he's a bigger man. But for my safety, really, he saved me. So thank you, Rumpus. Sounds familiar, this aggression, the angriness that these people have.
Yes, I know what you mean.
I mean,
this is
he
excellent. You know what I mean?
now that doesn't look quite so good. You see, he looks too brightly illuminated there, doesn't he? That doesn't. The lighting.
Yeah,
Isn't
I could tell that he wasn't there, but
But on the other one, you couldn't be sure. You'd have to think about it. It's only the size of him that makes you think he's not.
well,
there.
that's what I was saying. Is someone put in a midget here with a giant sheep, or is it a normal
Yeah,
sheep?
they
tiny
were
little man?
really big sheep. Yeah.
They were.
I'm holding a measuring rod. Like, surely you should be able to see the understanding of the size comparison because it's a fucking measuring rod. And that wouldn't make that 5 meters, would it? If that's a meter. So, you know, these guys, what can you say?
Big sheep. They were big sheep.
No, they weren't.
God, yeah, that's really amazing. That's just
Really good job here.
except for the size. That really works. God. Yes, it's a little bit darker there than it was on the other field. That's what it is. Yeah, and the shadows are right. Yeah, it's God, bloody hell. And it's almost as though the grass is obscuring him. I don't know that the grass is almost obscuring his left foot, as though he was, slightly.
Yeah, as if he's actually there. Yeah.
You know what the most impressive thing about this is? It took him maybe 1 minute to put this together.
Yeah, but he obviously had the mask thing there. Obviously, he had some feathering around it, so that's why it works well. But even so, yeah, the fact it's the key thing is the lighting on the thing you're putting in, whether it matches the lighting in there, and the general brightness. He was too dark for the other side, but there,
Lighting is all about the art, isn't it?
right. And the fact that his foot almost looks obscured by the grass really does it to the point of yeah, we saw there were about 5 or 6. I think how many of them were there when you were there, Farmers? You were there a bit before me.
Oh, they're
and not including Andrew, of course.
8 maybe.
That looks even better than the far away. That zoomed
Oh my
image
God.
looks even better, man. That looks excellent.
There was sort of, I think it'd come down to like 3 or 4 cars. There was maybe 8 or 9 of them. Job to say.
Apparently, it's an annual pilgrimage, and they obviously chose to do it to match it on the observation day we were thinking of having.
Yes.
So they did that, but actually they apparently do an annual. They claim to do an annual thing, so hopefully that's the only time they'll be there because they won't be interfering with.
Because they went down the other end first. So when I
Yes,
got there, they'd already been down the other end and then come back up to Welney.
He's right.
Yes, they'd obviously come up really early to obviously get there first to interfere as much as possible.
See, Rumpus thinks that he's telling every people that we went down there to interfere. We didn't even know Rumpus was turning up. I wasn't expecting Rumpus to be there. Interfere with what? Rumpus putting his pole up. He's nowhere near either of the bridges. I don't know what he's talking about.
Probably, yeah.
Mad.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
That's pretty. You can see it's a little bit too bright
Impressive,
now.
yeah, it's beautiful, man.
It's a little bit too bright now, but the direction of the shadows is just fantastic, and the grass.
I
is
think
sort of,
that looks absolutely spot on. I think that is better than the far away image. The zoomed in image. I think that looks even better.
Well, to me, that now looks as though it's not in the same picture. It's whereas before it's too sharp. It's almost as though, yeah, the light is a little bit too bright for the day. I think. But anyway, it's still very good. Yeah, it's very well done.
Did you say Bev is a bit too bright?
I don't know. I mean, look at your elbow sticking out the other side of your back there. You know what I mean? And look at his face. The lighting there is almost spot on.
Yeah, there's something I can't quite put my finger on it.
I think it's just the edges. I mean, the edges I think are being cleaned too much on.
Yes, they're a bit sharp, aren't they? You could do with a bit more feathering, perhaps. Yeah, they could do.
I
perhaps
think
with a
what
bit more
you're
feathering.
wondering, is what's on Bev's head. That's what you're asking yourself.
A dead
No,
sheep.
Yeah, that's a good effort there. Actually, he's obviously got a masked image ready to go. Yeah, that's not bad.
Don't give it away. CGI.
I have a hat on my
You can see it
head.
especially under his right armpit. There's just a
Actually,
little
possibly
bit
the
too
fact
much
that
there.
I'm looking at him as well also adds to the the believability of it. The fact that I'm looking in that
Yeah,
direction.
looking at his shoulder and he's looking back at you.
Yeah, it looks as though really doing a measurement together. Yeah, quite. Yes, it's
bone measurement.
That's pretty
The way that they're going on, it's a good thing that you
This
didn't
has
borrow
been the
light from anyone,
highlight today.
Yeah, I know.
right? Holy moly!
It's like we interrupted their pole building by getting there before them. That guy, Adam, did say that Mark was always late.
Yeah, well, hopefully in a week or so's or something time, I'm going to get it, do it properly. And now I've got a bit, may have had the internet side sorted out. I may, and thanks to a farmer's boy, we've managed to sort out this pipe. We had a little bit of a problem with the thermistor array. It got a bit sticky, and there's a couple of tiny tweaks needed to do to this.
The thermistor array. It's a vital component of his pole setup, and he said it would be done in a couple of weeks. But I mean, guess what?
Yeah, how long was this after? Well, how long ago was this video? Like a year and a half ago?
I don't know. Nearly 2 years ago, Bloods. Must have been summer. No, it wasn't last year.
Long couple of
Might be
weeks.
the
No, it wasn't
year.
last year for sure.
Yeah.
Had to be the summer before, right? 21?
Yeah.
21 or it wasn't 20, right? Because
No, it must have been
20.
Yeah, it must have been 21. Summer of 21.
A couple of weeks, 2 years. What
Yeah, like, well, he's gone missing, so he's obviously preparing it, gathering his team. He might be there, like we might be able to see. They might be permanent fixtures.
Maybe there's a plaque there.
Yeah.
Since they did have the reporters or the local paper.
Yeah.
Perhaps they put a plaque there. Didn't you say does Robotham have a plaque there?
No, there's nothing.
No?
There's no mention of
Really?
any of this. Not even in the pub.
Wow. Well, maybe there's something for Rumpus now. I mean,
yeah, it's a chance Rumpus could get his.
get himself a nice plaque, and into the history books. I mean, somebody can write him into Wiki, I'm sure.
I think it gets a little bit more interesting because whoever's put a picture of me on the screen, it's sort of, I don't know. It's like a red rag to a bull, or injecting a model into a conversation. It's putting me there. So obviously this is what happens now. This is the feeding the machine. To look at me for too long.
This is the 8 kilometer post.
I mean that's the worst case one, isn't it? Because the heights of everything. And
well, the trouble is the 6 kilometer one is also almost as high. I think I'd only removed something like 50 centimeters off the post on the other one, on the one that's 6 kilometers. The tube is the same. It's almost the same design. So I need to, but I haven't installed that little yellow tape measure you can see there that poor farmers and I were.
It's got two of these.
It was a bloody thing. I was trying to make it super easy for people because people are going to be really busy doing this because they're going to be taking measurements of these thermistors that measure the temperature up to 4-5 meters high. So they're going to be quite busy and then fiddling with the height and things. So they're going to be busy people, and I was trying to make it easy for them to take measurements of the height. But yeah, it's a right old pain that was.
Yes,
farmers and I were having to think quite hard about little problems and fixing them.
Of course, I had a few strokes of luck as well. I think
we did. Have some strokes
luck was a factor.
Did it with
I
just
think
two
that
of them? No, sorry,
you and Bev.
So farmers got so frustrated.
I'm just saying that picture of you and Bev, that is just waiting for someone to caption it, man.
It is, isn't it? What I mean? You're right. It is. Yeah, it's me calling in assassination squad or something. I don't know, or something. Or farmers, get your machete. I've found someone trying to take over my pole.
Wow.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. That's where Rumpus went to straight away. Anytime he thought of me or being anywhere near me, he thinks of violence and stuff.
Yeah, worse than
Protect me,
violence,
farmer's
yeah.
boy. Get him.
Assassination squad, is that what he said? And farmer's boy, go get your
machete,
axe, hatchet, and machete.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah. I don't know whether farmer's boy actually carried a machete around with him or not. I mean, I don't know.
Well, manly person like
it'd
him.
be weird if he did actually have a machete there, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, farmers had a machete, which is quite useful.
Oh no, he did. Farmer's boy did have a machete there. Why would you take a machete to the canal?
That real men always carry machetes with them. Come on.
I don't know. I mean, it's a good job, isn't it, that farmer's boy didn't. The rumpus didn't come over, and we didn't happen to say something that upset him. He might have got farmer's boy to get his machete.
Yes. Damn it, what was I about to say?
No, you.
It's not as if any of them have ever done anything violent or anything in real life, is it?
No.
Yeah.
These types of people, they don't do anything like that at all.
Yeah, it's just words, right? They're just, they just say these things on the internet and mean nothing about it. And don't worry about that.
You're just calling in a fire mission from the local US Air Force. Yes, danger close. Just roll some napalm.
Bring in the US
in. Stupidity of extreme stupidity.
Napalm.
Dangerously dense example of stupidity has moved in.
I don't know that. I didn't know that Farmer's Boy and Rumpus could speak for the U.S. military. I mean, the UK military maybe, but not the U.S. military. He distinctly said U.S. Air Force there.
They can call in the U.S. Air Force, though, right? Against stupidity.
Well, I don't know. They have that kind of power that they can, just go bypass the UK's, I'm sure more than capable military.
He did say there was about eight or nine of us over there, and they've just singled me out and called for a napalm strike.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know whether that's before or after Farmer's Boy and his machete attack. Fantasists, aren't they?
The long pole there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised actually at all.
I was like that bit out the meaning of life where he says, "May God strike me down if it was otherwise." Zap.
Yeah.
God.
I think you should be calling the newspapers to say.
God. The US military. Boom. God. Next one. They can command a lot of stuff, these,
Yeah, they do.
I mean, look at his pole. It's impressive.
Well respected.
You found a real life dwarf.
Well, the newspapers are involved. Yeah, right. The newspapers are involved. They're going to do a special piece on this now. It turns out they've agreed to do a 2-page spread on the local paper, and I may.
Did he say dwarf?
Yeah.
He said. Did he say midget before that?
I'm small. Yeah. Yeah, I'm
so
small.
Isn't that? Maybe it's just here in the U.S. because we've gone so woke, but. Are we sure that was even allowed back in 21? Because I don't remember that. Certainly not midget. You can't use midget. That's just a no-no. But I don't think dwarf is allowed either. I thought it was supposed to be like little people or something. Anybody else recall that? I think that's true. I think we may be opening up an old wound here.
All I want everybody to know is that apparently if you say that level is horizontal, then it doesn't matter, or any sort of names are acceptable.
I see.
Calling in napalm strikes and all of that sort of stuff.
Well, yeah, I should have thought about that, because if you're willing to go to calling in the U.S. Air Force, calling upon God to zap, and machetes carrying around assassin squads, you probably really don't care whether or not you call someone of let's say lesser vertical stature some name that probably shouldn't call them.
Yeah. I mean, we were at the other end taking pictures with the auto level and the P1000, and
well, I could see the aggression that they've probably felt the aggression from you guys. I'm sure. taking pictures and such.
Yeah, I mean, he had to run away for my safety.
It was nice of him.
Yeah.
Call it the BBC or ITV.
BBC.
To on this, because they did the ITV have done this coverage with Philip Schofield and Mark Sargent, in which they had him on there, and a couple of other occasions had that black guy who's a flat earther, so they might. I suspect unfortunately, this is probably going to be on a Sunday, and they're a weekday program, but I could possibly get them interested in that. And
Rumpus, see, this should let you know exactly the grandiose sort of aspirations of Rumpus. He thinks he can get a daytime TV show, Philip Schofield, interested in his thing that he does at the weekend. It's that good. Rumpus in his pole and his thermistor arrays. And his napalm strikes.
They to show, because I'll be able to show that top. The whole point of this photograph is that the bridge from which we're making the observation is about 10 feet up here. So it's about where the collar is, where you can see those guy ropes going to. That's about where the bridge level is, and everything above that is drop. So I'll be able to point to that. Hopefully, of course, I've told Brian Mabbott that if it doesn't happen, I'd have to jump in. But hopefully, I'll be able to show Brian that all that distance will be drop.
That distance up there will be drop from up there. Anyone clearer? Do you want to? I'll go back. He's told Brian Mabbott. So
where you can see those guy ropes going to. That's about where the bridge level is, and everything above that is drop. So I'll be able to point to that.
Above that is drop
level.
It doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean? It doesn't make any sense.
Is
Everything above the guide ropes is drop.
Yeah, but can we go? Can you play that back? Because there was something else there as well that I'd like to bring up besides what you guys are talking about.
Okay, I've done 20.
It seems to be a conundrum.
Maybe Rumpus is walking on his hands. I don't know.
Exploded minds. Just remember, exploded minds, and quit talking and what you can get away with.
The whole point of this photograph is that the bridge from which we're making the observation is about 10 feet up here. So it's about where the collar is, where you can see those guy ropes going to. That's about where the bridge level is, and everything above that is drop.
Pause.
So I'll be able to.
Did he say bridge level?
Yeah.
Level.
Yeah.
Was he comparing the top of this pole, where the guide ropes are, to the bridge that's some distance away as level? Did I hear that right?
He says it's the same as the bridge level, I think he said.
Maybe
same as the bridge level.
Yeah, the height. He's talking about a vertical height, isn't he?
Yes, elevation rather. Yes.
Yeah.
And from that distance, from the pole there, from the top of the pole that he says is where the bridge level is.
Well, no, the top of where the guide ropes are, right? So you can see the guide ropes that he's got out there that's holding it wonky, right? Bent.
Yeah.
Right. Well, about where they are, that would be the same level, or I would say height, same distance, vertical height above the water as the bridge.
Yeah, well, that's kind of my thing, right? I'm a little confused at his use of level there to describe something that is both here and then some distance away. Now, that distance, would that end up being a horizontal distance, maybe? I don't know. I'm just thinking somehow Rumpus may have inadvertently stated something like level is horizontal, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, well, I'm more, obviously there's a relationship between the top of the guide ropes and the bridge. That's what he
seems to be implying.
Yeah.
He seems to be implying that, though, with what he just said. But
again, reckon to the fact that everything above that is drop.
Well, yeah, it makes perfect sense.
So once you've measured your height from the water to know where the bridge is,
right,
on the pole,
everything above that is drop.
Everything above that's drop.
Yeah,
has to
clear,
be.
totally clear.
And he'll have a formula for it and all sorts.
I would certainly
Point to
hope
that.
so.
Hopefully, of course, I've told Brian Mabbott that if it doesn't happen, I'll have to jump in. But hopefully, I'll be able to show Brian that all that distance will be drop above that collar. This is the idea.
Yeah, double down on it. Everything above that collar is drop. How many people do you reckon are going to ask him a question about what the fuck he just said?
But they all depend on the measurement, which we still have yet to do because we've been too busy building stuff. Yeah, so it's. But
hello, is that the BBC? I think I've got evidence that The Hobbit is a documentary.
Yes, we can do.
He's again talking about me not being tall.
Two things. There's a naturalist program. They get David Attenborough here to observe something, and see we're doing a measurement of the radius of the Earth. Because the whole point of this would be able to give a value for the radius of the Earth as the end of this observation as well. So there'd be a running value of the radius on the YouTube feed, saying we're measuring the radius to be this value, depending on what the refraction does and everything, and where we have to put the targets.
A running feed on his radius calculation. On the YouTube feed. Real time. It's got big plans. I mean, getting a local newspaper and the BBC involved.
We'll be able to put a big size of the Earth's radius on the screen and see how it changes over the day, depending on the refraction. They will obviously allow for the refraction, because that's the...
Did you know the radius changes during the day?
I didn't, but I'm not surprised.
So there'll be a running value of the radius on the YouTube feed, saying we're measuring the radius to be this value, depending on what the refraction does and everything, and where we have to put the targets. We'll be able to put a big size of the Earth's radius on the screen and see how it changes over the day, depending on the refraction. They will obviously allow for the refraction, because that's the whole point. Oh, of course, that's it. Yeah, Farmer's Boy.
The secret with Rumpus, if everybody don't know, I hope Rumpus comes back. I'm not trying to keep Rumpus away, but Rumpus's quick talking allows him to say a load of bullshit and get away with it, because nobody's going to ever question him on anything, because he just does more bullshit. He comes back with more of the same sort of thing, except he just ends up calling you stupid while he does it. So nobody ever says anything to Rumpus. That's why they've been allowed to, Rumpus has ended up in this position where he's talking a load of shit. And this stuff's never going to happen. But he did get to go out there with Farmer's Boy and put a pole up, at least.
Got a bit frustrated at one point and decided to break one of the supports in half.
I didn't break it. It broke all on its own, bloody thing.
He was getting frustrated with me.
Yes.
So he decided to snap it.
You do have that effect sometimes, Rumpus, I have to say.
Well, I've got things to do here. We had the time. We had to move along quite quickly, so I didn't really have time to be. Well, there was things to do. I suppose we had to get them done.
Yeah, well, that one's pretty much sorted out now, isn't it? I think
it is indeed. Thanks to you, thanks to
just
you,
got that one little issue with the tape measure, but other than that, yeah,
indeed, yeah. Thanks to farmers, we had to pull it down erected about twice because I stupidly forgot to measure something at one point, and that was some of the reason why we had to do it again.
It's okay, Rumpus. We've started a GoFundMe to send you on a how to manage people course.
Well, perhaps Roger can give us perhaps Farmer's Boy can give some evidence for that.
Yes, I've got a few pointers.
Yeah, well, Farmers. I would say Farmers is he's quite forthright in his whatever the situation is. So
I tend to call it as I see it.
Yes. and he seemed to look for an opportunity to call it as well. he wants to express his opinion, firm as it may be.
Oh, bless. Mr. Mabbitt's trying to tell us the definitions of level. You've left the important one out again, mate. Sorry.
Oh, he's posting.
What was Bev's posse doing over there?
Trying to interfere with my observations. They turned up specifically because that was the day that we turned up, and they wanted to be there. And they actually occupied the bit of the bridge that I wanted to be at. And
bridge occupation.
Yeah, we fortified our defences, and there was no way Rumpus was taking that bridge. We had it locked down. We didn't even know Rumpus was going to turn up. And Rumpus nobly ran away. So we didn't even get a chance to talk to him about anything. So I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. We didn't know Rumpus was going to be. In fact, we'd been told that Rumpus wasn't going to be there. I can remember being told that specifically. I'm not saying who it was, but yeah, we got told he wasn't going to be there. And we went, that's good, because it doesn't really matter. We'll still do what we were going to do anyway. We don't need Rumpus for us to go down there to do what we do.
Had it been the day of we were really going to do the observation, I would have I've set farmers on them to kick them off.
No worries.
No probs there. But as it was, we actually had so much work to do here, as farmers will testify. We didn't really have time to go, except for my last minute dash in the dark to the bridge, leaving farmers here.
They would actually have been in our way because as we found out when we were there a couple of weeks beforehand, we can only make our observations from the left-hand side of the bridge because not too far back, sort of 100, 200 yards down from the bridge, there's a sluice that's right in the middle of the river. So if you want to go all the way down to the other end that's damn near 6 miles away, you've either got to look from the left-hand side of the bridge or the right-hand side of the bridge.
We'll show you. You can look straight through the middle of the sluice. I don't know why you can't look through that, Farmer's Boy, but hey, we'll show you that Saturday.
And if you're on the right-hand side, as we're doing everything on the right-hand bank, it's too tight. You need to be on the left-hand side of the bridge. It's the only place we can do it from. So if you've got all of these Herberts turning up, sort of covering the bridge, it's like, well, come on, guys, you'd have to move out of the way because we need to be here. So,
and now I've got the local Welning.
If you'd have been brave enough to have come over and said that to us, then we'd have probably gone, where do you want to go? We only had like 3 or 4 cameras with tripods. It's across a massive bridge. If Farmer's Boy had have been brave enough to come and talk to us and not been a farmer's boy, he could have told us that. But as it was, that they didn't even need to go to the bridge anyway. They ran away and just talked shit after the fact. Like a big, brave farmer's boy. And Rumpus as well. They're big. They did it for our own good.
Newspaper on my side. And I've also informed the council making an observation there, for which you have to fill in a form. So I was like, yes.
I wonder which newspaper the Bev Tarts would contact, like the Sun or something.
Well, this is a local newspaper.
We wouldn't consider calling the newspaper at all. We just go down there and take the pictures ourselves. Nobody needs to make up any fantastic stories about newspapers and BBC coming down or anything. It's no big deal. All Rumpus has done is put a poll up. Rather grandiose thinking, isn't it?
For the actual place. So they were very interesting. They're very interesting. They're going to do a 2-page spread on it.
We got the first submission. This is by Hold On. Hold on submitted his caption.
That's very
Thank you,
good.
Hold on. Appreciate that.
That's
Very
good one.
good.
Hold on.
Very good.
Hold on, demonstrating he's not just he can produce a bit of wit. Yes, that's very good. Very good. Hold on.
Shout out to Hold on. I helped him. I helped him. He gave me the. I mean, he typed the key phrase, and I took the freedom to type it myself.
That's a good one. That's very funny. Yeah, because that's I don't obviously you can't push it when you're there, but as farmers hopefully will testify, that thing when it's raised up fully, when it's 30 feet high and it's got a 5, you can't quite really appreciate the size of the target. It is big, and if you're at the bottom looking up, it is blood. It's actually quite scary.
Yes.
How big that is.
And that's why when we got it to that point and you'd raise the target up by a few feet, and I'm thinking, my God, is this thing just going to sort of snap in two or something? That's why I stood back and took that photo.
You did.
Because it's like, bloody hell.
But look at you thought it might be the last moment to capture it in an intact state.
Well, it was bending back like that. It was wobbling because the wind was gusting. Because Sod's Law says that was the one point in the day when the wind was at its strongest when we did that.
Yeah.
You know.
Can't remember there being any wind
I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to drill some holes in that target because I think certainly there are some days where we may do the observation that the wind. So, for instance, this weekend the wind is 18 miles an hour or so, and if I was to do it in that would be a bit too much for it. And
yeah,
it's
not the right weekend for.
See, that's the beauty of not putting big, massive poles up whenever you're going to go and use your camera. Is you don't need to worry about the wind. It's not going to be that bad anyway.
For it, this one isn't.
Indeed. No.
I was going to say, instead of using a solid board, could you not use like a mesh and paint the mesh so you could still see the mesh?
That's my pal. I've got a pal who's part of the team who keeps suggesting this, but I think if you did that, it would all just flip. You know, in that wind, you can see if that had been loose material, it'll all been horizontal, and you wouldn't be able to see it from a distance. You really need a big white and black thing to be seen.
What did he say was?
So you could still see the mesh.
That's my pal. I've got a pal who's part of the team who keeps suggesting this, but I think if you did that, it would all just flip. You know, in that wind, you can see if that had been loose material, it'll all been horizontal, and you wouldn't be able to see it from a distance. You really need a big white and black thing to be seen.
If it had have all been horizontal.
Yes,
What?
he said horizontal.
What did he mean by it?
Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. If it all would have been horizontal, the vertical pole. I don't know.
But yes, your idea is a good one in principle.
Yeah, you could dose it with a frame or something, you know, but
Yes.
have the mesh in the middle, you know. Yeah.
Exactly. But the trouble is that I don't think the mesh is going to be enough. So what I might do, I might do effectively what you're doing by drilling holes in it and then perhaps putting some thing behind it, some material behind it.
A mesh material, just to cover the
some
holes.
sort of combination. But I don't, if it was just a mesh, I don't think that's going to have the contrast that I'm looking for. Because when you're looking at something, this is something I hadn't really appreciated when George Natiuk did this. How far 6 miles is away? You just don't appreciate it when.
How far 6 miles is away? Don't appreciate it. 6 miles. It's about on average, it's about 6 miles.
6 miles.
Yeah, 6 miles, roughly. But you don't appreciate it. Well, I don't know. I do. 6 miles. We've been there a few times. In fact, if somebody were to ask me what 6 miles was, I'd be able to show them a picture. But I don't know whether they'd be able to appreciate it because they've never actually been there. So
farmers are simple. When you go to the bridge and you look, and you just can't see anything. It's just 6 miles away. There's a sluice gate in the distance, and it's absolutely tiny. It's only when you start, having a P1000 with a 3 meter lens, you suddenly realise this
3 meter lens. A 3 meter lens. P1000 with a 3 meter lens. Rumpus has never done any of this, has he? He's He's just talking shit. He's never seen it.
Maybe he's talking about Hubble telescope.
I think he's seen the pictures that we've taken on my son. That's what he's talking about now. Those are the pictures he's seen.
Distance, enormous,
Yes.
enormous, and so you need massive things with huge amounts of contrast to have any chance of seeing the damn thing. You don't appreciate the scale of this thing. I'm going to somehow try and communicate this somehow.
Yeah, it's a hard job, isn't it? You could just take a picture, couldn't you? And if you know how hard it is, surely you'd know you can't see it with a 32 times scope. You need, like he says, you need these massive 3 meter P1000s lenses or scopes. I don't know.
But it is. I mean, farmers look through some. Farmers, you've seen through the obviously the P1000 and through the auto level, and it's a massive distance, isn't it? You think the scale. I don't know how you felt. Whether you felt intimidated. I mean, I felt actually intimidated by looking through the P1000 zoom. This is an enormous distance to be doing something over.
Yes. Well, the problem is when you stood on the bridge and sort of looking down the length of the river, and you two were down there raising that closer target. You don't realise just how foreshortened everything appears.
Yeah.
And your target was partially obscured by that tree or bush or whatever it was. And it looked like you were just the other side of it. And I think you said you were 400
meters, yeah.
Yeah, 400 meters back from it. And it just doesn't look like that at all. And then when it cleared up and I could see all the way to the bridge at the other end, and you think, my God, that is, yeah. I mean, because it's what? I think it is 6 miles bridge to bridge, isn't it? Yeah, and you realise just how long it is, and the fact that you can still see it in the straight line. You know, you can see it.
Well, I know you were talking about using black.
Straight line, farmer's boy. I mean, we, of course, these are the people that we have to trust. If farmer's boy agrees with us that it's a straight line from A to B, then it's a straight line. Has to be.
Right, but in the North Sea, they found that the most visible colour at a distance is pink.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that's interesting because I was going to do a red and white pattern.
I would try a Dayglow pink colour. You'll see it much clearer. You know.
That's interesting because George tried that and he said that the red bled into the surrounding image. And so he used black and white. And so I followed his advice and then I made it black and white. So that's interesting from your own experience there. That's okay. That's it. Too late now, but I'll bear that in mind.
These were tests done in the North Sea for helicopter pilots finding someone lost in the ocean, and they found that someone in a wet, a dry suit that was pink is much more visibly seen than any other colour that they've tried.
Okay, that's okay. I'm glad. I wish I'd known that before, but thank you for telling me now, Terse.
That's what you want, a big pink flag at Bedford. I hope he's doing it. I hope his rumpus is going to come back.
That's interesting information. I suppose I was thinking red would be best because it's low frequency and therefore the attenuation on it's less. But of course, if you pink, it's a sort of white version of that, which means red is a bit dark. So a sort of pink, I can sort of see why that might work as a sort of a bright version of red, which is pink, might do the business. Yes. Okay.
It's also a colour that will show up better against any green or blue background.
Yeah. Mine's against because of course that I've got effect. No, you can't see the target thing here, but it's basically two black triangles pointed at one another off vertically, and also two white ones pointed one another horizontally. So I get the contrast. So if you look against a dark tree, you've got the white, and if you're against the sky, you've got the black. That was the idea.
Hang on, have I got a photo that shows the? No, I've got a photo that shows the target.
Oh, please, thanks. Please show that.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me just. Where did I dump that? That is.
Real photos coming in.
There we go. This is a photo right here. That's a photo of the target looking sort of the other way, looking down towards the other bridge.
Is this a
we can't
human? Is
So
this is not the no? This is not a known no man's land, right?
Right, that's it. Yeah.
There you go. That's the target.
And as I walked away from this, I walked about 2 kilometers from this, and it was magnificent. And this is in its lowered state. Don't forget, this is actually its very bottom.
Yes.
That can go up another 70% higher than that. That's
I mean,
its
that's
very
what.
lowest state.
That's what. I think that's just over 5 meters, wasn't it?
Correct. The center is actually nearer 6 meters. Yeah.
Yeah.
The bottom of that is 5 meters. The middle of it's 6 meters, and that can go up another 75% up there. And I went away with it.
It does seem like it's a bit of a waste, isn't it? Like all of these things these poles that Rumpus has built, and no understanding of what they were fucking done for. Like, why did he do it? What was going on? It's like the Inca statues, right? If a long lost civilization were to come and find these, it'd be
Rumpus
going,
legacy.
yeah. Oh, he was obviously measuring the radius. How could he not? It'd be like so clear what this experiment was. What are you doing? Oh, we're measuring the radius. Okay. See ya.
At one point, I walked away in its raised state, and God, it sort of dominated the landscape for about 2 kilometers, and I could see it for a long way.
You could probably do a quick test, Farmer's Boy. You could probably take that, that square, and cut it out and move it back into the distance, and put one the same size, pink, and move it in the distance, and see where the pink and the black and white can be differentiated better. As you shrink it.
I could do, but I'm not going to.
Yeah,
well, I'm just saying, before you start painting things, you could try something like
It's
that
already
on
painted.
computer,
It's there.
No, but I'm just saying to compare it before you start painting things.
I think he should.
Yeah, the trouble with the biggest problem with all this is actually the trouble with most of the trouble is actually getting to this place, getting to anywhere with tools.
See, I'll send a bloody nowhere.
Yeah, it is. It's in the middle of nowhere. It takes ages and ages and ages to.
You see, what's happening here is that Rumpus is trying to talk about his test, and everybody else is showing pictures of me for some reason. I haven't got a clue why he does that. The fact that we're the ones that go there with the pictures. Remember how many pictures you've seen of Rumpus doing this at Bedford? And then remember that when you come in on Saturday and you see how many live stream things that we've got going in Discord. See the difference between the two.
Go there. It takes even longer if you're carrying something, and the whole thing just takes hours and hours just to do the simplest thing. It's just extraordinary. So modifying anything in the field is just an awful pain in the arse.
You would think if this is hold on, guys. 1 second, please. 1 second.
Walter
Bisling, can you mute your microphone? A little bit of a hot mic. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I was just going to say, you would think if this is the flattest place in England, why isn't it filled with flat earthers?
I know, right? Because it is.
It was on Sunday.
Yeah, it's quite a few of them on Sunday. But yeah, it is bloody flat, given the nature of what the fens is and how it was created. Just the slightest bit of elevation, and you can see for miles.
Yeah, it really is very flat, very, very flat.
Yeah,
it's for miles. Yeah,
yeah, all the way from sort of Cambridge, sort of up to Wisbech, Kings Lynn, all the way out to where I grew up, my dad's land is right on the very edge of what's jokingly referred to as the chalk uplands. And it is compared to the fens. It's higher by several meters. But if you went over the ridge that was the edge of my dad's fields, when you drop down, that was the start of the fens, and it just goes on for miles and miles and miles. And we could see Ely Cathedral from our sort of upstairs landing window. Yeah, and that was sort of, I don't know, 9 to 10 miles as the crow flies. And you can see why it's called the Isle of Ely. Because when that whole place was flooded,
renowned flat area and flat area in Britain, yeah.
It is very, very flat, yeah.
They're all arguing about the state of, I don't know. I don't know. Don't know what's going on. Listening to him. I mean, I know Rumpus has made some flagpoles, but...
Oh, there we go. Poor O'Brien's going off on one in Discord now. You said flat. Yes, it's flat. That doesn't mean to say it's level and horizontal and flat as you think it means. It's just terrain-wise, there isn't any. There is no terrain. It's flat.
Surveyors call things flat, level, which is curved.
Yeah.
Just
Again.
And flat as you think it means. It's just terrain-wise, there isn't any. There is no terrain. It's flat.
Surveyors call things flat, level, which is curved.
Yeah.
Just like salt flats.
Yeah, they don't. So Rumpus is handing out paralogisms.
Bolivian salt flats are flat, and they're level.
They're doing a 2-page spread on you in the local paper. What's the title?
I don't know yet.
And flat and level is curved.
So they did ask me what rect meant, as in RECT, and I haven't yet told them it stands for Rumpus Earth Curvature Test.
I thought it was.
So that's good. So we're going to have rect, I think, is the title of this thing. So I hope they won't mind the fact that it's got Rumpus in there. I don't know whether that'd be rather odd. Perhaps I don't.
Rect, but not rect as in straight. No, Rumpus Earth Curvature Test. I mean, if that's not a literal redefinition of rect, like a rectangle.
Or rectilinear.
Yeah.
So rect means straight.
Straight, yeah. And I don't know whether they were aware of that and aware of Rumpus waving straight. He's calling his test straight. I don't know whether that's meant to be ironic or... I don't know. Just upside down. Exploded minds.
Perhaps they might like it, actually, as a sort of slightly odd name for something. This is called Rect, by the way, this whole thing. The Rect Project.
Oh, shout out to Citizen 9. He was born on the Isle of Ely. You were born within the stone's throw of where I grew up, mate. Huh. That's good fun. Isn't that a small world?
Well, indeed, yeah. Is he interested in helping? Is that where he lives now?
No, he just says I was born on the Isle of Ely because I haven't the faintest idea where he lives now. I did, but if you're close enough to help, then come along.
Rumpus.
Hello, Brian. How are you?
On a bit of advice.
Oh yeah, for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know I was talking about somebody who told us that Rumpus wasn't going to be there, so you'd be safe to go there.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a nutty flat earther.
Right, no. Go ahead.
Know your signs, your targets.
Yeah.
Drill holes in them.
Indeed, that's exactly what I said about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But that's a good piece of advice there, Brian. Well done. Because this is Brian's mechanically minded, and so he spotted that straight away. Yeah, indeed. I've been thinking that and discussing that with my pals for about a month now. I was saying, what would we do when it gets windy? And we were determining all sorts of designs, what we'd do with it. We'd put some matting in it, the mesh that Terse was suggesting, or drilling holes in it. I think I might have to drill holes in it, certainly in the very least, because at least I can do that on site. I don't have to build a new target. But I need a big drill, unfortunately. I need a power drill, and I don't have one. I do have some.
Give us some time. We might be able to sort things out. Because I'm.
What sort of a man is Rumpus? Who doesn't have a drill? What sort of a man doesn't have a drill? Rumpus, that's who. You'll have to get one.
Fairly sure what I've got rattling around in the garage somewhere are the big bits you have for drilling holes and things like desks. You know, when you want to pass
really
cables. Yes.
What with the forcing bits on it?
Core drill. It's a core drill.
Yeah, I think I've still got. I'll have to have a rummage, but I think I've still got a core drill rattling around somewhere.
Okay, I mean I've got a couple of mobile drills, but they're just not powerful enough really to do something like make a big hole like that. But okay.
Well, we can see. Oh, Citizens 9 something in Scotland. Yeah, it's a bit far, mate. So never mind.
What are they made out of?
it's not MDF. What is it? It's not plywood. Bloody hell, I can't remember what it's called now. It's about 4 millimeters thick board, and it's got
Wood.
two.
Oh.
It's got two across the top is a 15 millimeter board by 20 millimeter. No, by 50. By no more than that. Probably about 60 millimeter by 15 millimeter board across the top and the bottom and behind and in front, because I knew it was going to have to deal with a bit of wind, and so it's like a sort of a cross. God, do we have to have this? So it's like a sort of two T's in touching one another. As behind it. So yes, so good one, Brian. Yeah, I've thought about this for months, and as we saw from the picture that farmers took earlier, because it's a 5 feet by 4 feet thing, it's bloody enormous. I mean, that picture that you just saw, which we've now lost, that 5 foot by 4 feet, it looks actually a bit smaller there, but it's because the whole thing is so huge. It is, that thing there. That's actually almost to scale. That's 5 feet high, that thing. So it's actually Bev, if you mate to scale, Bev would have to be a little bit higher, but that is bloody enormous, that thing.
It's to scale because Bev is like 4 foot.
Well, I don't think I think we did see him. Farmers, was he the chubby guy with the beard on the bridge? I think he was, wasn't he? Because there was a guy with the grey. I didn't realise that it was Bev had such a grey beard, but there was a guy on the.
He's got a hat. He's the little guy with the hat. He seems to have a collection of hats.
Well, did you see there was a biggish guy? I thought with a big grey beard. I didn't think that was.
Yeah,
him.
No, that wasn't him.
Ah, right. That's what
we think that might possibly have been domesticated primate, but I'm not sure because I'm not overly familiar with him.
Oh, I thought we decided domesticated primate was the skinny little guy with the beanie hat.
You know what? If they'd have come over, only if they'd have been brave enough to come over and have a chat, they wouldn't need to speculate like this.
In Gems, there's a picture of or an emoji of domesticated primate. And
I got it. I gotta give a big thank you to Mr. Victory for doing all the art. You gotta get out of here, go take care of your business. But thank you for hanging out and doing the good stuff.
Yeah, some good pictures there, Mr. Victory. Yeah, some good.
You're not this weekend, Rumpus.
Sorry,
you're not doing it this weekend.
It's a bit windy this weekend. It's very windy, in fact.
Very windy.
Yes.
We're not racing this weekend, so.
Sorry, Brian. It's just too. I mean, even if I were to drill holes in it, when it's nearly 20 miles an hour wind, and just today, in my garden, I was just looking at what the speed of the wind is about 20, and Jesus, everything's flapping about.
Yeah, my weather app keeps giving me warnings about high winds and all the rest of it. So
right.
Yeah. This weekend isn't the right one.
Yeah. I couldn't fly the drone in that anyway.
Yeah, quite. Yes, we'd want you to do a bit of drone work. Brian, for us, that's right. You were going to do a bit of drone work for us. Yes, a drone would have been completely out of the question. So this weekend is out really. And also, I haven't quite got the internet connection. So now that I've got this, I've also got this page, this local paper helping me out now, as well as potentially this pub as well. I haven't quite sorted that out yet, but hopefully when I've done that, then it'll all be go. Just a bit more work to do on
trunks. You got your swimming costume.
Oddly, I can't find my swimming trunks, but I've got some older ones I do have, which I'm not sure fit me properly. So that could be even more embarrassing if I have to.
He's not going to get wet.
Skimpier the better.
Yeah, that's what it might be actually. These ones I've got actually are quite. I think I had them when I was 19. I can get into them.
Hey, no budgie smugglers, okay? No budgie smugglers lining.
Right.
Bring a rolled up sock.
Yeah. So Brian, if you want to be, so Brian, we might still
I've
get
got
a chance
to be there the day you turn into a flat earther. I've got to be there. It's easy as that.
Brian, well,
I wouldn't hold your breath, mate. You know.
You don't get what. So, Brian, I can't remember what the forfeit was if there is this huge drop, and so if, for instance, Farmer's Boy is at this distant pole you can see here, and he's had to raise it up by 30 feet to get it to be horizontal. And therefore there has to be this huge amount of drop. What's for? Are you going to have a forfeit? So yes.
Okay. So he has to raise the pole 30 feet for it to be horizontal.
Pole, vertical pole to be horizontal?
I think that's what his test was. Yeah, that's why nobody's ever asked him what the fuck he's doing. He has to raise the pole up for it to be horizontal.
This is just rumpus. So
yeah, it's his rumpus. He's going to get in the paper. He's going to get the BBC, the news thing down. They're doing a Centre's 2-page spread. Apparently. Or rumpus could just be the biggest bullshit you've ever heard of. Right? Him and Farmer's Boy. Could all just be making this shit up. Going out into the middle of nowhere, erecting poles. For no purpose, just to completely bullshit everyone. What he's doing. Raise it up 30 feet to make it horizontal.
So if you imagine that the bridge is a little bit from where we've got the base here, the bridge height from where we're making the observation, including the height of the auto level, is probably about the collar. So if you imagine that sort of thing, there is going to be the drop from the collar to where it is. We'll probably have to do it more than that. If I'm right about the curvature of the Earth, the drop will be from the collar about to the center of the target, and probably have to be a little bit harder than that. Actually, that's not its fully extended state we're looking at the moment.
Yeah, he's right. His drop is a vertical distance in the upwards direction of the pole, which can be translated as a drop of U. Yeah. All seems a little bit backwards. But, I mean, I'm guessing that's why Rumpus isn't around and he's never actually attempted to explain this to anybody. But, I mean, there will be people that will be able to imagine this, because we're going to do a base drawing. You put A at one side and B on the other side, and then it's up to everybody else how they want to connect the dots between A and B. Whether you want to go with a rumpus, put a pole in there so you can measure a drop or something. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
So if I have to raise it up that high, Brian, what forfeit you? If I'm going to forfeit jumping in to this rather mucky water in trunks, what forfeit are you going to have if we do have to raise it up to that height?
You'll have to let me think about that one.
I could play with your drone for a week.
What are we measuring it with?
Well, you see that little yellow thing at the bottom?
That's
a tape measure. The little yellow thing at the base there that Farmer's Boy and I spent bloody hours fixing. That shows you the distance. The thing it attaches to the bottom of the post that's inside the tube, and that will show you how far it's going up and down. And I know where I've surveyed the bottom of the post, so I know exactly how high that is above the water, and I know how high the auto level is above the water at Welney Bridge. Therefore, just by subtracting those two distances, I can then know the drop, how much I've had to raise up above the auto level I've had, and then the auto level I'll be looking for the graticule to match the target to make sure it's on the horizontal. And so I've had to raise it up like that. I will then know exactly how high what the drop is at this 8 kilometers distance. And
do you get that? I mean, because we can measure the height of the bridges from the water. Similar sort of thing. But I don't know what measuring up would do, really, to measure up, to measure a drop.
So I will be able to measure it very easily.
Who knows?
I need to get out of here. We are in the Daily Boom Discord server. Here's the link in the YouTube chat box. If anybody want to join, The call will be recorded for a later premiere. But I'm gonna do a quick round of final thoughts. I really need to get out of here. I need to cook me something, take care of the dogs and stuff. So let's do this. Doofus, do you got some final thoughts for us? About 11 Chimp. C4. Farmer's Boy.
It's been great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mel, bro. Final thoughts.
Good. It ain't flat.
Thank you. Oh, Alim.
Earth is a spinning ball with water.
Wow.
Boom.
Phil,
Brave
Brian
statement.
Mabbott. Final thoughts.
Yeah.
Earth is not a ludicrous spinning ball with water on the outside of it. Fucking grow up.
Terrace, final thoughts.
I remember a flat earther doing a similar test with this Omaha Canal with a torch through several boards with holes in it, and the guy at the end had to raise the target up until it met the white, and all he had to say was interesting, but what he should have been saying is bloody astounding, it proves the globe.
Yeah.
All right. The Rumpus.
I'm a bit worried for Brian's mental health when he realizes if I do have to raise up this target to the higher, even higher than you can see it in that picture. So I'm concerned about Brian.
Thank you. Walter Bisling, you got some final thoughts for us? If not, you don't have to. But then we'll wrap up with the person that just joined, and you're going to be the last one over here. MC Toon, welcome to the show. The show will be recorded. Give us your final thoughts before we get out of here on YouTube Live.
Just in time to say this has been a good show. Thanks a lot for hosting it, Jose.
Thank you very much, man. I'm glad. I saw you, since pretty much the beginning of the show, and I'm glad to, as I say, provide a place where we can come in and just hang out here, talk about random stuff. Good stuff, man. Well, thank you very much, everybody on YouTube land. Don't forget to share the show, like this.
Right, there you go. Final appearance of McToon. I think that's when they were doing friendly sort of stuff. That's okay. Let me get Discord. Okay, now let me see if I can find this picture. Did I have it? Right, now I did have a picture. Let me, hopefully I can get it to show you exactly what we're hoping to better. There we go. This is the picture we got last time. Now, when Rumpus was talking about a slightly pink picture, can you guys see that? Put it in the chat. You can just about see the bridge and the sluice gates in the background. That was I suppose the best we could do at the beginning without really tuning everything up. But hopefully today, Saturday, we are going to have a better day, a longer period of time. So hopefully we should be getting better pictures than this. And maybe we'll have a better chance of the after, the post, because we will have infrared with a filter on it. So, but the hope is for us to be able to get a picture of us in the sites from each bridge, a reciprocal picture on that. We'll take you through all of the other bits for Saturday. I know most people aren't really fussed about it. It's only historic for certain people, and as we do, we study level. Or me personally, I've studied level, I think, more than anyone. Just the basics as well, to come up with proofs. And then, like Farmer's Boy, place the model after your understanding of reality. Don't try and place it before, because you'll have problems. Sorry about that, everyone. It was a little bit of a boring. I tried to go through the thing, but I mean, you got a few things about Rumpus and the mind of these people. Rumpus's test. I mean, you can imagine a stick in the distance somewhere along the canal. I mean, on the right-hand side there, can you imagine Rumpus and his pole? I mean, it might be there. Could be there in that picture. As we were taking those pictures, Rumpus could be there somewhere. Probably where that arrow is. Salters Load Bridge. Along that stretch of the canal on that side. Maybe on the other side.
Yes, lurking over there. Lurking Rumpus.
But you can see in the background, right? Those sluice gates.
Yes, yes.
So those are already a measurable height. It does make you question what the fuck Rumpus is doing. Doesn't it?
It's hard to say because it is even hard to listen to Rumpus because he's has this irritating way of speaking that you don't understand what he's talking about really. But I would say that he will do nothing.
Well, you can
Because
see the sluice gates in the background, right? He was lifting something up and down to know. I don't know, but as you can see in that picture, you can see the sluice gates behind, and the sluice gates are above the same stretch of water. They're taller than the bridge in the picture. Now, the question is, if you get a picture of an auto level and set the auto level up and it is establishing a horizontal, right? So the crosshair is horizontal. But where would you put the crosshair in the picture?
Normally in the picture.
In that picture. I mean, that I know that's a picture of P1000. But if you were to imagine crosshairs in that picture, where would you put them?
Horizontal, but of course this picture is not through auto level, so
yeah,
we cannot say that this camera was horizontally in horizontal position. So
bit of speculation though. If you were to have an auto level, and you remember you're on a bridge, and if you know the height of the bridge is the same as the height of the bridge at the other end, they're at the same height, where would you imagine the crosshairs are? Over 6 miles. It's all right. It's a trick question. You don't need to imagine where the crosshairs would be 6 miles away. They're still in the auto level.
Yeah.
But if you want to come into Discord over the weekend on Saturday, you will be able to see an auto level facing in that direction. Now, what you think that might show you, might prove the shape of something to you. I'd suggest it doesn't prove anything, because it's not even a surveying practice. It's just you're looking in through an auto level. That's all. But it'll be a good day out, and at least you'll be able to say that you've actually done that. You've been there live. On the level. We'll probably do it a few more times, right? We'll do it plenty more times, but I don't know how soon it's going to be. So hopefully people can come in, have a look, see what's going on. It's a little bit early, isn't it?
Okay, signing off.
Okay.
Good night.
Thank you very much. And let me get this back over here. And I think that should do us for Thursday night. It's been a bit of a rush job. I've got things going on, and we did miss the philosophy course. I didn't get to put that out today, so I think we'll be putting that out tomorrow. I will. I'll put it out tomorrow. Philosophy for the Thursday one. I don't know whether the other one will go out on Saturday, because we'll be out in the Discord for driving for most of the day. So we might be just one of the lessons behind. Sorry about that. Catch us tomorrow, Free for All Friday. You can have your say, and it'll be might be an early night on Friday as well, so I can get to bed and get an early day on Saturday. Get a Buster song ready. There we go. Okay. Thank you very much. Join us again. Don't forget, come into the Discord. We're a community channel now. Upgrade. See you tomorrow. Free for All Friday.
I have enough confidence in the things that I know. I have enough wisdom to see the logic will be shown. I got one chance to show you what I got. I got one chance to show I'm confident or not. Self-evident reason, deductions and conclusions, and the fools are running away. It's not what you say, it's only what you can prove. You better watch your step, you better mind your P's and Q's. You got one chance, show me what you got. You got one chance, show you confident or not. Don't get caught in the matrix of all of these fakers. Society's spinning, and I'm just here living on the ground. Self-evident reason, illusions. Logically thinking, and the fools are running away. You're flipping over backwards to show me where you think you are. Your model dictates that you never see too far. Shrinking in the distance, you can do fuck all with an